Good day, Broad Coven. I'm here to drop in with you on this full moon lunar eclipse. They call it a hunter's moon, and kind of interesting energy in play. I had to like reschedule this a few times because the energy today is kind of draggy, man. I don't know if you're feeling that, but it feels sort of like a sludgy, kind of heavy vibe, man. I mean, it is the capping off point for the solar eclipse that opened up this cycle with the new moon we had in Libra on the 14th. And now we're going to be entering into a new cycle. I'm really looking forward to dropping in with you on this and getting into some of the deeper stuff with the astrology. Before I get into that, I'm just kind of getting this deck prepared. We are going to bring in a reading. The way that we're going to do that is we're going to break it up elementally. So we'll do a read for air signs as a collective, and then fire signs, water signs, and earth signs as a collective. When we do the elemental reads, we go in the chain of manifestation just because it makes the reading more comprehensive, and it also roots the reading. All right. So, but we'll be looking elementally as a group. Do be sure to, keep your chart in mind in receiving this read, and be aware of your major placements, and tune into the parts that are just really speaking to you. All right. We're also going to be bringing in a talk on the astrology, just so you can tap into what energies are going to be in play. And I really wanted to bring in more of James Burgess's work that revolves around the Sabian symbols, because this is something that I've really gotten turned on by through the introduction that Cal Garrison gave me to it. I mean, I really wasn't familiar with Sabian symbols. I'm in a process of learning about astrology. I really want to expand on astrology, and I want to bring it more into Broad Coven and have it inform my readings more as well, just really fusing the two together on a very deep level. And I'm really honored that I am fortunate enough to learn from Cal Garrison, because Cal Garrison's like OG astrologer, known as Mother of the Sky, was given that title, okay, and for good reason. I put a write-up about her on the community board, so you should check it out, because she's going to be on the broadcast as a guest again. I know people have been asking me, when are you and Cal going to get together again? Because you enjoy the way we play off of each other. It's always a great live for the community. A lot of people come out, and it really gets things cooking. So I'm so excited to have her on. She's going to be on November 7th. It's a Tuesday at noon. Okay. At noon. Oh, no. Noon her time. Noon Mountain Time. 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. And that would make it 11, correct? Yeah, it's 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for those of you in the States, okay? So drop in for that if you get a chance. If you do get a chance to check it out live, I highly encourage it. Sometimes we do evenings, but Cal does better, earlier in the day. So I really want to respect your time and energy, because, it's not our usual thing to show up like this, and the fact that she is really kind of a big deal. So I hope you'll check it out. But she taught me about the Sabian symbols, and I'm so grateful to have had that insight from her, because I'm finding it really helps you unlock the energy of the astrology in play. And the astrology in play with this one it's pretty intense, okay? And I think a lot of us are feeling this energy. I'm just going to start to get the deck seasoned, maybe even pull out a few cards as we talk about. The astrology is just sort of a collective read, and 4:44 on the clock, okay? So, even though we may be feeling like there's a lot of demons that are acting up right now, maybe you feel like you're dealing with a lot of demons in your life. Maybe you're struggling with personal demons. Just remember what Tennessee Williams said, that if he lost all his demons, he'd also lose his angels, okay? So, angels are on deck. There is a way through this, and we are having this kind of clashing energy that's coming up right now with this full moon lunar eclipse. Now, remember, with a lunar eclipse, we're looking at something that we weren't able to see before. And this is officially the last lunar eclipse of this year. Okay, so it's wrapping up an old cycle. Okay, so there's a lot of chickens coming home to roost. We already know we're in this phase of really wrapping up a significant karmic cycle with Libra in the South Node. We know that where we're heading now is where we've never been before. We got that action going on with the Aries North Node. This is inevitable, okay? There's no way to kind of keep repeating the past. The way we move forward has to be brand new. We also know we got Pluto direct in Capricorn. It's going to be there for a minute, okay, until it further advances into Aquarius near the end of January 2024. All right, that's when we really start moving more into this real revolutionary energy. What we're in right now is the clashing between the old and the new. Clash of the Titans came forward for me. I think there's themes, kind of like archetypal themes that are playing out that mirror that story of Clash of the Titans. I remember I loved that movie when it came out, man. That was my jam. I watched that movie all the time. I can't tell you how many times I watched that movie. So I don't know, maybe drop in with that movie. You know, it could be kind of a fun way to sort of tap into these energies and also maybe get a little bit of a distance from them as well, you know? So you can kind of look at them through a different lens, maybe look at it more creatively. You know, I really like working with this role-playing energy beyond the scope of like playing a game and actually using it as sort of a psychological framework to explore different territory that may be difficult to, you know, confront in your day-to-day life, or that might feel too activating normally. So there's something about this, like bringing in the aspect of the theater. And this makes sense because we have this full moon came in. We just had the full moon, okay? It just entered. Not too long ago, about 20 minutes ago, roughly, okay? So you're definitely going to be feeling the amplification of these energies, and we should have a really beautiful moon to view this evening. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to doing some release ritual. This would be a really good night for release ritual, okay? Anywhere where you feel like you need to let go or create some kind of sense of reverence or respect around a release process, this is an excellent night for doing this, okay? We do have the lunar eclipse element in play, so I like this because you have some people, and it depends, you know, it also depends on traditions, because everywhere across the world, you know, in different cultural traditions, everybody has their own view of the eclipse, all right? So as always, respect your traditions and respect what, you know, you feel actually has meaning, personal meaning for you, all right? Now, you may be questioning some of those traditions with the energy in play right now, because this is the clash that we're having. We're having the clash between what's traditional, what's the way things have always been done, and the desire, the need, the absolute need for the new, okay? So there's like this revolutionary energy that's brewing, and it's a revolution that's happening within ourselves. There's this whole cry out to humanity, you know, it really is on that scale to evolve. Like, we can't continue to do what we're doing. It's not working, right? And we know this, but we often like to kind of like sweep that stuff over the rug because it can feel so big, right? And when we look at that from a grander scale, it's like, well, what can I do about that? So a lot of people will just kind of be more of the persuasion of just giving up, you know, and that's very common during this age that we're in the final stages of the Kali Yuga. We've been talking about this a lot here, right? But we have to begin with ourselves, right? And the more that each one of us kind of takes our own part in that, takes accountability and gets ourselves aligned, then the better off we're going to be. And this is a real key. This is a real key to unlock the energy in play with the Sabian symbol that's at the helm. But this moon is aligned with Mercury and Mars, but it's opposite Jupiter. Okay, so do you understand the dilemma here? With the Mars energy, that's that initiatory energy. It is the energy of Aries in the North Node that says, hey, we need to get things happening here. And Aries is a very action-oriented sign. So we know that to activate our North Node or to unlock that destiny, that brand new chapter, so we can actually actualize why we're here, what we're here to do, we can't do that without taking action. It's not something that happens passively. It just does not. You cannot be a pacifist in this situation. You have to take charge and you have to make a bold move. But a lot of people are locked into this place of inertia because they're in kind of like this destructive cycle where they're sort of just like wallowing. It's a wallowing kind of energy. It's feeling stuck and feeling stagnant and feeling like you're bogged down, and any movement you make, you're kind of moving through quicksand because the energies right now are in this sort of state, you know, they're in this sort of stasis. And it's not a stasis that we really want to maintain because energy is really heavy and it can tire you out. It can make you feel exhausted. And a big thing that's getting in the way of this is just not being able to sort of look at things more creatively as far as how do I navigate this territory I'm in, as well as a resistance to letting go, a resistance to change, a resistance to looking at things in a brand new way and moving into that expansion, okay? So we know with Jupiter, the energy is about expansion, right? But in the shadow, it can be sort of self-gratification to the extent that it becomes destructive, all right? It can be almost like self-indulgence. It can turn into a greed sort of energy, all right? Ideally, it's about moving into this place of like opening up, you know, broadening the view, looking at broader horizons, moving into that state of expansion that's also really fused with a philosophical approach to life and an optimistic outlook to life, okay? In the reverse, it could also be, you know, looking at things through rose-colored glasses, being unrealistically optimistic, all right? So this is a big key in moving forward with this energy because Mercury and Mars are aligned with this moon, but they're also opposite Jupiter. So with Mercury and Mars being aligned with this moon and with it coming in with a lunar eclipse, we know that though we are like chomping at the bit, right? We're at that starting gate. We know that there's an action we need to take. And in this action can't just be any action. It can't be haphazard. There's some kind of action we need to take that requires us to be a bit bold, a bit daring, but it needs to be a little calculated, you know? There needs to be a good foundation for this action. Otherwise, it could be really destructive with Mars in the mix there. There's elements that we can't see right now. For some of you, the elements you can't see are the very thing that is blocking communication in some of your connections and some of your relationships. With Mercury in play, it's also the thing that's holding things back and preventing things from moving forward, all right? We also know that there are blocks just in understanding and getting all the pieces to kind of connect. So there can be a way that we can move forward that actually leads us into that expansion instead of being so gridlocked in just our idea of what that moving forward looks like or what that expansion should be, okay? So this is where you're at odds with other people. This is where you're at odds with tradition, all right? You're wanting to do something that's really like breaking from the pack, okay? So there's resistance around this. And we've been going into these themes quite a bit, but they're really heightening right now at this moment. And we're at a critical juncture with this because we have to recognize at this point with this wrapping up this cycle that what's going to happen in this lunar cycle is very slowly the curtain is going to come up. And what we couldn't see before, we're going to see. The reason being is that we are at this last eclipse, okay? So now the light starts to build. And initially the light starts to build by the light coming on in the room. And you're like, oh, wait a minute, I've been fumbling around here. I've been trying to find the door that leads to, you know, the next stage or that opportunity I'm looking for to break out of this sort of stagnancy. And finally you got, you know, a clear look at where that door is and what needs to be done. And it's going to be informed by certain things that you couldn't see before are going to be revealed to you. Now, Some of these things will be outside of yourself, okay? And a lot of it will come through illuminating communication with Mercury in play, all right? You might not like all of this communication with Mars at play, all right? There could be some clashing. You could be dealing with some conflict. There could be some things to sort out, but one way or another, communication is going to start coming in, and the information you need, the insight you need is going to become evident. You're going to start having more of a realistic view of what you're facing and what it's going to take to move forward. And in light of all of this, you're going to need to move forward nonetheless. And we know that with Pluto and Capricorn, okay? Because that's what Pluto and Capricorn is all about. It's like, yep, this is it. It may not be what you want to see. There is kind of a bitter pill to swallow here in some regard, or a real recognition of, oh my gosh, oh yeah, here we go. There's so much more work to do if we're going to move forward. And look at this. We're not just moving forward cleanly, right? Look at all these swords here. Like, this isn't easy to navigate. We got a lot to move forward with and a lot to transform. Ideally, you know, we want to move forward in such a way we're not bringing all this suffering with us, okay? And so that's what this energy playing out is really about right now. So this is where I want to bring in the Sabian symbol. And I took some notes. I highly recommend you check out James Burgess's website, okay? I'll put a link to it in the comments. I'll pin it there after the live airs. And I get a chance to watch the replay and do all the timestamps for you all, okay? He's excellent. And I took some notes from him because I'm just starting to really learn about these Sabian symbols. I'm starting to really study astrology more intensely and learning from Cal and all the wisdom she brings in when she graciously shows up here. Hey, Jer, good to see you. So let's dive into the Sabian symbol. It's kind of a loaded one, all right? The Sabian symbol for this lunar cycle is a widow at an open grave. I thought that was really interesting because I've been saying for a minute now, it's actually a quote. I don't remember the exact quote, but I've been paraphrasing it for a while now, that the only difference between a rut and a grave are its dimensions, you know, and that's something that's been coming in for me quite a bit. So I love this about the Sabian symbols, the way that archetypal imagery, it translates so strongly. It's like you can really pick up the energy before it comes in. And every time, I mean, Cal was right, man. Every time I tap into the Sabian symbols, I'm like, oh my God, that's it. That's exactly what's going on right now. So that is the Sabian symbol for 5 degrees Taurus, which is what this full moon lunar eclipse energy came in with at 5 degrees Taurus, right? Actually, at 5 degrees 9. I don't know what the 9 means. I think it's seconds. I think it's seconds. I think it counts for seconds into that degree. I believe it's seconds, not minutes. Okay, I'm learning more about that. I seen a blue jay bird. That's my spirit bird. Ooh, nice. I love it. Yeah, I mean, do be paying attention to the symbols that come through for you at this time as well. So let's talk about what this a widow at an open grave means. Well, first of all, it's very important at this time to cut the cord. You got to let yourself have your grief. You have to let go. It's time to move forward. Yes, okay. But ideally, just as that 6 of Swords came out, we don't want to let go in such a way that we're carrying forward that grief with us. That's going to bog us down. That's going to prevent us from really stepping into the activation of our North Node and moving forward into this new cycle globally, right? How are we going to transform things if we're dragging all this old crap behind us? We can't. It's going to slow us down, right? It's not going to be easy to kind of like work through this stuff and, you know, get where we need to go. And that's why we got to travel light, okay? So it's so important now to do your letting go. And if you are going through something where you're really struggling with a release process because you have a lot of trauma wrapped up around it, well, you know what? Maybe now is the time for you to just recognize that if you're waiting on somebody else to save you, if you're waiting on somebody else to say they're sorry, if you're waiting on somebody else to bring in this peace that can help you complete that process, you really need to recognize that this is an inside job, okay? And you never can determine whether or not somebody is going to be part of that closure for you. So it's very important that you arrive at this place yourself. And that closure may involve that you need to create some kind of respectful space around this release. And maybe that's what's been missing for you, all right? But you don't always get that from another person. There can be many reasons why you don't get that closure from another. So again, tonight would be an excellent night to do your release rituals, and especially while we're in the dark moon phase, wonderful time to do your release rituals. I believe the next new moon that's going to be coming in is going to be in Sagittarius, if I'm correct. I believe so. So even more so of a reason to really work with doing your release work with this particular lunar cycle, okay? Because then you'll be ready to move into that expansion with Sagittarius, and there's going to be a real quickening energy that's going to come into play as we head up toward the holiday season. So we're not slowing down, we're ramping up. It's really interesting energy. Yeah, and there's going to be a lot to celebrate. There's also going to be a lot of healing with this Three of Cups, okay, for the collective. So now's the time to kind of work on building the optimism. But the thing is, you can't build the optimism, right, if you're sitting here holding on to all this heavy stuff. So you got to let that shit go. Don't be a bag lady. You know, don't drag this stuff behind you. I do feel like it's a really good time to do any kind of release work that also involves energetic release work. So if you know you need to do that extraction work and release those cords that are tapped into you, excellent time to do that. All right. It's also a good time to get really clear on where you're at. I mean, I do feel like there's going to be opportunities that come forward in this cycle to sort of like have heart-to-heart communication. You do want to be in a space where you're receptive to hearing what another has to say, all right? So if you're still holding on to all the old stuff, are you really going to be able to listen to what this person has to say? Probably not. You know, you're going to still look at the situation through eyes of the past. So if you're wanting to have the arrival of something that can bring that healing or can bring understanding, you got to, you know, look at things freshly. You got to look at things in a new way. I did get a song that came through as like a channeled message that kind of holds the energy, the template that we're going to be moving through this lunar cycle, and that was The Doors, The End. Okay, so I will pin that in the comments as well. Yeah, you really need to get a new view. There's something you need to see here. It's very important. You're creating a brand new world, so you can't move forward looking at things through the eyes of the past, right? So, so important. And one more cut here. And let's see what we got. Look at this. Justice, karmic balance. This is the closing of a very significant karmic cycle. And we already know that. That's what this moon was all about, okay? This moon's energy is wrapping up a very significant karmic cycle. And it goes way back, okay? So you're closing an important chapter in your life right now, and you're preparing for a clean slate. You know, we're preparing to launch in a whole new direction. And this is really going to start coming in now. So look for there to be communication during this cycle. Look for communication to start to come in. That communication is meant to balance things out, you know. Will you move forward with some of these people that are coming in to communicate with you, or that you're moving toward? Maybe, perhaps, maybe not. Just be open to the experience. Try not to have any preconceived notions about it. You know that whatever's happening here is sort of like part of your karma. It is what needs to be balanced out in order to move forward, and it's creating the stability to build the new way upon. Okay, so try to remember that and try to be in accord. All right, this is sort of the key. The way to work with this energy is to work with the Sabian symbol for 9 degrees Libra. All right, here comes the Libra piece. All right, 9 degrees Libra, the Sabian symbol is the true artist reigns supreme. And I'm going to look at my notes here just to see what James Burgess brought in around this. In its positive 9 degrees Libra Sabian symbol, the true artist reigns supreme It's about bringing things together, bringing people together, experiences together, foundations together for what you're building in the future, bringing it together on a foundation of the higher values of life. All right. So it's sort of like elevating things and thinking of things in a new way where it's more about bringing about this accord. All right. And accord is where really when you're looking at how can we make things harmonious, you know, how can it be resonant? And first, that accord has to begin within the self. So this is sort of like the phase you're at right now. You're really trying to find this accord, this peace, this balance within yourself, which is why doing this release work is so important. One way or another, you know, the grave's already there. It's already done. Okay. With a widow at an open grave, it's like you're at the funeral, man. Okay. It's only moments before that dirt's going to get put on top of that casket. And, you know, it's the end. So there's no point in really clinging to this because whatever was before is over. It's done, you know. It's not always easy to accept certain endings, but what people don't understand is sometimes it's just a cycle that's meant to end in a connection or a situation. And it's really necessary to recognize that that was then and this is now because something's fundamentally shifted in that person, in the situation, in the dynamic that bears no resemblance to what it was in the past. So to continue to move forward with that level of understanding, there's no way there can be progress in a situation. This is also the thing that's been causing so many issues and so much kind of combative energy, where you get that Mars, you know, in the shadow element, which is all about war, my way or the highway, you know, and where you just have a battle of wills and nobody can get on the same page. It largely has to do with this. It has to do with that, the struggle which is at the forefront right now and is only going to continue to build. And it's the struggle between tradition, the way things have always been done, the current structures in place, the power structures in place, and the desire to expand, to want something more, to want growth, to want something different, to look for a new view on a broader horizon, to not want to feel contracted, confined, hemmed in. Don't fence me in. You know, it's that theme, you know, of wanting to run wild and free. I've had this like image that's been coming forward in my mind for quite a while now, and certainly has recently. And it's of like the wild horses, the wild Mustangs, just galloping free, you know, across the plains with just all the dust getting kicked up, behind them. And I keep having this image in my mind, like every time I close my eyes, I see it. So I feel like there is something coming, man. And horses are all about power. They're about power and movement. So there's a powerful movement forward coming, and it involves like really kicking back, you know, the dust behind you. It's like, just let it be dust on the wind, man, because where you're heading is somewhere altogether new, but it's aligning you with this point of empowerment. Okay. We do have one significant fixed star that is playing a role in this astrology, and that is a crux, and it is conjunct Mercury. And the effect that this star has is that it encourages a sense of stoicism. If you're not familiar with stoicism and what that philosophy of life is all about, I encourage you to learn about Marcus Aurelius, and I will also provide a link in the comments to that so you can kind of get an understanding about stoicism and what this sort of philosophy of life is about. It's about understanding that, yeah, okay, things are really rough and things really, you know, you may feel even that things aren't fair or that things suck or that you don't have the energy to deal with what you have to deal with, okay? But the reality is, you kind of have to just accept that this is what it is, all right? And you can't really spend a lot of time being sort of self-indulgent and wallowing in your woe is me stuff or having a pity party or feeling sorry for yourself or, you know, being in the blame game. you kind of have to take a position where you're like, well, that's it, you know, and be very realistic about the situation, logical, just the facts, man. And then you got to pull yourself up by the bootstraps and go, okay, what do I need to do now? You know, it doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to be thrilled about it, but it's what the time calls for. And that's Stoicism. Okay, so this is sort of the spirit that's required. I mean, hello, Capricorn, you know, hosting Pluto, Saturn in charge, Daddy Dom Saturn. Of course, that's what we're dealing with. It's like Saturn don't care. Saturn don't care. The Lord of Time don't care. He's like, get it done, man. You know, what are you doing? Sitting around on your butt, whining, complaining, moaning, groaning, you know, thinking about all your grief and all your trauma and everything that's ever happened to you. It's like, that's Stoicism. Okay. Some people may feel it's harsh, but Stoicism's like, and what? So what? What are you going to do about it? Yeah. Okay. You're hurt. Yeah. Okay. You're angry. Yeah. Okay. It's not fair. And so what? Does you focusing on it endlessly, running around in circles like you're on a hamster wheel in your brain, help you get free of that? No. You're only getting more tied up in knots. And then you blame and you complain. And it's doing is it's just amplifying that energy in your life. Stoicism says, so what? What are you going to do about it? Now get to it. Stop your whining. You're exhausted. Okay, well, what do you need to do to change that? And this is where we bring in the 9 degrees Sabian symbol for Libra, which is all about the true artist reigns supreme. There's sort of like an imagery that comes with the true artist reigns supreme, and it is, let's see, where was it? 3 old masters in an art gallery. I love the imagery about it. But this is the solution. This is the key for how we get ourselves out of this mess of being at 5 degrees Taurus, where it's a widow at an open grave, and we're stuck in this place of holding on to old grief and things that we know need to go, but because I just got to do this. This is my duty. It's what's always been done, or this is what this person says I got to do. There's just this resistance, and also this lack of confidence, lack of courage, lack of motivation, lack of optimism, lack of energy. Hello, all the stuff that's, you know, in surplus during the dying age, okay, that's, you know, we're carrying along with us, all right? So it's like, this is totally this energy of, you got to let that shit go. You got to build a bridge, get over it. Okay, we've been talking about this for a long time, but people need to understand that this is really the closing point of that cycle. So it's not going to be like you can continue to just kind of like stay here. You can't. You're going to have to get moving, because it is going to get moving, whether you like it or not. And if you're not on board with that, and you can't kind of adopt sort of a tough as nails, very resilient, you know what I'm saying? You got to embody that spirit of the goat. I mean, Capricorn is the perfect sign to really embody at this time. That's Stoicism, right? Do you know some strong Capricorns? Like they do what needs to be done. They may not like it, but they do what needs to be done. They can be very practical, very focused, very grounded, very driven. All right. And they also have a real talent at alchemy. A lot of people don't give them that credit. They view Capricorn as this very earthy sign, and absolutely they are, but people forget the Capricorn is the sea goat. Hello. I feel like Capricorn energy also can embody that temperance energy. So they are a key for leading us into that new moon cycle. And I do believe that new moon that will be coming up next will be in Sagittarius. So it's like, hello, Capricorn energy is the foundation that will really help us step into that expansion, all right? And the blessing side of Jupiter. Right now, we're looking at the dark side of Jupiter. We're looking at what happens when we're overindulgent, when we're too fixated on us and we don't think about the collective, we don't think about the larger picture, when we're too hungry for power. You know, where we're in that gluttony phase or the greed phase. Okay, that's all Jupiter, you know, out of balance. Oh, it's a good time right now. Oh, but now it's a dumpster fire. Okay, that's Jupiter out of balance. So, you know, work with this energy. Work with this energy. It is a creative energy. I love this image. 3 old masters in an art gallery. This is the key. This is what James Burgess says is the key to getting out of this mess. We got to work with the 9 degrees Libra Sabian symbol, which is the true artist reigns supreme. Now, what are these 3 masters in the art gallery? We know we need a creative approach. We know we need to do something innovative, okay? We need to do something different. What is that different thing that we need to do? Well, we need to change things in 3 areas. These 3 areas represent the 3 masters in the art gallery. What are these 3 masters? Habitual, social, mental. Think about that. Okay, so you need to look at what you have habitually done. You also have to look at what your day-to-day habits are. What is your routine? What are you doing consistently? What is like your usual patterns in life? Okay, you can look at this on every stratum of being. When you're looking at habitual, automatically you also need to look at that from a social lens, okay, and a mental lens, but it's also the emotional habitual. When you continually go over the same old story or the same old thing that had happened to you over and over and over again, that is habituation. And it really must be understood, this process of manifestation, that whatever you habitualize is the seed of what you're manifesting in your life. So if you're not liking the way your life is going, if you feel like your abundance is blocked or your relationships have all gone to shit or you're constantly dealing with health challenges, you got to look at what you're doing habitually. On every stratum of being, what are you constantly thinking of? What are you constantly focusing on? Where are you constantly spending your time, your energy? What are your health habits? How are you consistently feeding your body? What are your sleep habits? You know, what kind of relationships are you nurturing in your life? Who are you spending most of your time with? How are you spending most of your time? Do you spend time, you know, face to face with people? Do you spend time actually dropping in with people in real time, or are you addicted to social media? It makes a difference. Are you watching, you know, a lot of doom and gloom news, you know, or I like to call it propaganda, you know? Are you being programmed by the algorithm? Or are you maybe like going out to a library, you know, maybe getting a library card if you never had one, starting to like read some books, you know, actually like get a book, crack a book open, like forget about reading things online all the time. What about cracking a book open? I'm going to be kicking off pretty soon here. I'm thinking I'll start it in November. On Cobra's Medicine Bag, we're going to do a book club, and we're going to read a book by Patanjali, and it's called The Yoga Aphorisms of Patanjali. And there's many translations out there. There's a translation out there called How to Know God, all right? But it's basically all about the system of yoga. Yoga from a mind, body, spirit perspective, of course. So if you want to like open your mind in that way and drop in over there, check it out. I'll make an announcement on the Broad Coven community board. So if that is something that interests you, but this piece coming in, you know, what are you taking in habitually? What are you doing habitually? Look at all of it, your daily habits, who you spend your time with, the type of relationships you're nurturing, all of it. What thoughts you're thinking, what are the old emotional loops you keep going over? And it's time to really like look at things in a new way and shake up that routine. Now that will be a little disruptive. Look at this. This is what comes out on the bottom of the deck energy. Yeah, this is imbalance, man. Some of you are feeling like you're not seeing any manifestations coming in, or like your finances are really suffering, Or maybe you feel like you're doing all the work in a relationship. You're the one who's expending all the energy. Nothing's coming back in. All is going out. Nothing's coming back in. That's why you need to release this energy. That's why it needs to go, because it's not in accord. We need to bring it into accord, right? You need to be aware of this in working with Sabian symbol 9 degrees Libra, that the shadow side of that is worship of tradition. It's dogma. It's dogmatic. It's stuck, right? It's just being loyal to something to a fault because you feel like it's duty or what you have to do. And that's very destructive. The other shadow side of 9 degrees Libra, Sabian symbol, is destructive self-contemplation. That's when you're making your experience in the situation overly important. You're not the only person in this situation. And if you're dealing with frustration just in what's going on out in the world, remember, you are not the only one who's frustrated. A lot of people are rocking and rolling right now. In fact, I don't think there isn't anybody who isn't at some level affected by everything going on in the world right now. So this is when it becomes too much all about you. You got to kind of like break free of that and recognize when you're being a little overindulgent, even in your grieving, you know? Has it become such a sweet shade of melancholy, you know? And some people get really attached to the stories, and it doesn't even open them to hear another person's perspective of what they may have felt in that situation, and absolutely has value. So we know, you're going to have communication come in. It's up to you how that goes. We know this energy is in play where it could be combative, okay? It could be explosive if you're intractable. And if you refuse to be open to a different view, if you're still looking at this person or whatever matter you're facing through the eyes of the past, you're going to have problems, okay? And if you're not willing to give a little, or you're not willing to open up for understanding, and you're hoping for closure, some of you just want closure, okay? Don't expect to find it that way. It's not going to work. You're going to create more problems. There's going to be more dissension. There's going to be more butting of heads, all right? So you know that you got to like move out of this energy and just have an understanding. Yes, it's difficult, it's challenging. That doesn't mean there's not a way through. The way through is to bring things into accord. And how do you achieve that? First within the self, right? And you bring that into being through looking at your habits, okay? That boring Saturnian Capricorn stuff, okay? But we have to remember that the Capricorn piece, it's really important. Capricorn is the 10th house, okay? So that's your whole public life, man. It's how you're viewed. It's how you're representing yourself out in the world. In business, it's your brand, okay? So this is significant. It's really time to lay down the foundation properly and look at these things. If you put your focus on that, you're going to spot where your weak links are. And then it's going to become very clear how you need to address this situation, all right? So very simple, very clear, very direct. I kind of just want to get into the elemental energy and just dive right into it, all right? So let me see, 43, 48, I'm going to mark down, all right? And we're going to start with a cycle of manifestation. We always do that when we do the elemental style reads, where we're going by elementals for the sign groups, okay? The reason being is that's the natural chain of manifestation. And we look at it elementally, not just because it's to give, all of your signs a little attention. It's also so we can understand how things are coming into being from a manifestation perspective. So first we start with air, because air is, let's translate it to Ayurveda too, since as a community here, we've been going through a Panchakarma. Air is associated with Vata. Ether is also associated with Vata. Vata leads all the other doshas. So first, there is the inspiration that comes in from the ether. It comes into the intellect, activating the air element. Oh, I got an idea. I got an inspiration. I should do this. I should go here. I should communicate this. Okay, that's all the air element. It then moves into fire element. Okay, now I need to back it up with action. We see this even mirrored in the 4 jewels of the Tuatha De Danann that we've been questing for. Same thing, right? First comes in the first jewel, Fragorok, all right? Sword energy, air energy. Next, that energy marries with what? The Spear of Lu, fire energy, okay? Where are we at right now? We're at the toughest one right now. Let me tell you, I thought maybe we could move through this one faster. This one is becoming more extended. The Cauldron of Dagda is a fierce one to, it's a fierce one to kind of like navigate, man, because it requires that we really marry the Mars and Venus energies, that we bring them into accord. That's what we're trying to do here, man. We're trying to clear the avenue so we can bring the creative force through. And it's challenging because it all deals with what? Water element, the emotions, what we're feeling, what we're intuiting, okay, and finding the flow. It's not easy, man. And that creative energy, okay. So I have a feeling we're gonna be questing for the Cauldron of Dagda until we hit the Sag new moon. Honestly, it's gonna be a hot minute. I think people are still in a stuck place. I think this lunar cycle here is gonna be the thing that finally like, allows us to like trudge through. But I do feel like we're going to be in this process for a little longer before we're able to like quest for that final jewel, which is the earth element, okay, and is the final cycle of manifestation. After we've had the inspiration come down from spirit or ether or higher consciousness, and it's married with our thought, we get an idea or something we need to speak into existence, okay, then it marries with actually doing that, you know, taking that action or bringing forward that communication, which is all about the fire element. And then after that, we move into really becoming invested in it on a heart level, right? We feel it with our emotions. We start connecting with it on an energetic level. And this is also, even if you're doing alchemy work, okay? In your release rituals, remember these pieces. It's the same thing. Trust your inspirations that come through, all right? You got an idea for the ritual. You got an idea of what needs to be expressed, and then you want to take the action. Fire could be very potent to work with. It's a transformational energy. You might just want to do something simple, a good burn, okay? But fire is actually taking the action, okay? I'm bringing my will forward. I'm going to do this release work, okay? And then comes the emotions. So your emotions is what really amplifies and gives power to the alchemical work. So you have to connect really emotionally. That's what gives something its juju, man, is like feeling it in your heart and connecting intuitively and grokking the energy, like really embodying it. And then you release it. And then when you release it, you got to let go, which is where we're at right now. You have to let go. There can't be the manifestation until you let go. You got to let go. And in letting go, you allow the flow, which is moving in harmony with the water element. And that's what roots it in earth, physical manifestation. Okay. It's a lot to get there, but this is why we go in this certain chain of command. Okay. So we're going to begin with air. I didn't make up separate banners for this, so I'm just noting the time, and I'm going to reframe the time. I can put this as explaining the layout. Explaining read. All right, let's do this damn thing. This is beginning with air, okay, air element, and the signs of Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, and how this is going to be expressed this lunar cycle at 4919. And we're going to breeze through these, okay? I'm not going to do super long reads. I'm going to do, you know, one pass and cut of the deck with the tarot, all right? And then, I think I'll bring in an arcane bullshit card, all right? Just to act as like sort of archetypal imagery. And we'll do that for each of the elemental categories of signs. So shuffling for Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, any significant placement in the chart. Also, just remember your house. You still have a house, even if you don't have placement. So you're still part of this read and you want to pay attention, but certainly if you do have a strong air sign placement, this information will probably be really pertinent for you, and the themes coming through will be very strong in this lunar cycle. So shuffling forward. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, any significant placement in the chart, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, Mercury, Mars, Saturn, Pluto, or significant third house, seventh house, or 11th house placement in the chart, or any of the ascendant rising signs associated that will make you a descendant of one of those signs. It really opens up the playing field here, all right? What is coming in for air element collective in this lunar cycle? You're moving forward. You got the Chariot here, okay? So in some way, you've come into this center balancing point, air collective. We are looking at the sign of Cancer here, okay, when we're looking at the Chariot. So this makes me feel like you've already done this emotional work. Like there's something you've become very balanced with in terms of your feelings, your emotions in a situation. I feel like you're already at this place of letting go, air collective. Otherwise, you wouldn't be having the Chariot show up. So it looks like you might really be embodying this spirit of stoicism right now, where you're like, okay, it is what it is. I felt what I need to feel around it. I'm at peace with it. I've released it. And now I'm just in this place where I'm ready to move forward. Okay. I'm ready to move forward. I know what needs to be done. Okay. Let's see how that continues to play out for you. Air sign collective. Oh, wow. You got something coming back on the bend, air sign collective. Something that you may have thought was a loss. Oh, big time. All right. That's unexpected. This is a situation where you felt there was a real deep sense of betrayal. You might have felt like it was an opportunity that was stolen from you, that there was some kind of unfair play. Somebody did something underhandedly. There might have been some deception. Definitely there was something here that was a little bit tricky, okay? And I think you felt a lot of hurt about it, all right? But this energy is turning around, okay? So where you felt like there was some loss, some heartbreak, some deep separation, this is in the process of reversing. Again, you already let this go. I don't feel like you're holding on to this anymore, but I do see that you went through a really difficult cycle with this that caused you a lot of pain, okay? And I don't think this is anything you move through rapidly either, all right? But I do see you're not holding on to anything around this anymore. You released it. You might have become very good at releasing things as well, just going through something. It feels like this was very harsh. Whatever caused this separation was really harsh. And maybe you also cut some things off, okay? This could be actual connections you cut off. This could have been stuff that you blocked. This could have been certain habits you have. This could have been something that you cut off on social media. This could have been just a thought process. Maybe you got tired of processing. You processed this so long, you're like, you know what? I don't want to think about this anymore. I'm dropping it. You know, you built a bridge, you got over it. But I see that this is coming back around. And the reason I say that is because here we got an Ace of Pentacles, okay? So there's some new beginning that's coming here on the other side of this, all right? And it's something that you can see, feel, and touch. It's tangible. This is also a seed that you're wanting to plant, something that you're wanting to grow for your future that's rising up out of whatever is coming back around the bend, okay? So something is being revisited here. It's interesting because there's a crossing influence, okay? But this crossing influence, I'm just going to show you how it landed just so you can see. Okay, this crossing influence actually landed underneath this whole stack of cards that came out here. And I feel like that's really significant. And I want you to see that because we're going to look at what's crossing you last, all right? What do we got here? We got what's coming towards you. Okay, this is a King of Cups. So maybe this is somebody that hurt you in the past. You have some kind of, you know, rift with this person. There's some kind of, maybe you feel deception or trickery, or something that has caused problems in your connection with this person, and they're coming back around, and now maybe they're letting their guard down a bit. Maybe you felt like this person never would open up, or there was some kind of blockage in communication. It could be on one or both parts, and you may have both struggled with these issues. Somebody's coming forward and they're wearing their heart on their sleeve. They're not keeping things hidden anymore. Interesting to look at it from that perspective, because I'm looking at this Five of Swords and I'm almost wondering if maybe this is a game that somebody played in the past. Like maybe it was like a strategy. Like they're like, I'm not going to reveal what I feel so I can have the upper hand. Maybe this person felt a little vulnerable about that. I mean, look what comes right after that. Look, we got the Knight of Cups. So this person is coming towards you, and I do believe that's what it is. This person felt like, you know, I don't feel safe letting down my guard and sharing what I'm feeling. Water sign energy, okay, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. They could have a strong water sign energy in their chart. They don't have to, but I'm just going to bring in all the players on the board, okay? You could have a strong water sign placement as well. This is the Judgment. So this is something that is coming back around the bend, right? Look at it. It's funny because of what the Sabian symbol is for this full moon, right? It's a widow at an open grave. And look, here's the open graves, and here's Gabriel blowing the horn saying, all right, rise and shine. So this is a quintessential. First of all, it's a Libra card, okay? This Judgment is the sign of Libra. So Libras, this may be speaking very strongly to you. It's also Libras in the South Node right now, all right? So air signs, this is part of something that you're balancing out. I feel like you're balancing out a really significant karmic cycle. This has its roots in the past. It's probably somebody you were romantically involved with in the past. Something's coming back around, all right? Or you've had a break from this person. There's been some challenge in this situation. It could have something to do with betrayal, a sense of feeling betrayed, a sense of somebody really like not playing fair. That's what I got, okay? There's definite like deceptive energies here. There's also multiple people here, okay? This is not just one person, okay? And this could be what caused the complication. So there could be a social aspect here, all right? This may also bring more than just this person with them in tow. All right, we got to look at that, because there's not just one person rising up out of this grave either. Look, there's multiple people here as well. Could be a community here. It could be something that really activates something that ties to a whole time in your life in the past, all right? But this is going to be reactivated, all right? It's interesting because it looks like there's confusion here, all right? Maybe you two have been like two ships passing in the night. Maybe you've both been lost at sea in emotions. Maybe there's something that's been activated in you. It's been difficult to bring this thing into accord, all right, to bring it into a state of balance. It's out of balance right now. This could be, in some cases, because somebody was juggling in this situation. It also could be just because both individuals feel a lot of emotions in this situation. And because there's a lot of emotions there, there's a lot to like balance out. In some cases, this could be related to habit. I got to look at these three pieces that came in with the 9 degrees Libra Sabian symbol. That's our key to getting out of kind of like the gridlock where we're at right now. So this could be that somebody had some kind of addiction. With the water being in the background, could be like alcohol. You know, it does give me Neptunian vibes, all right? Neptunian energy coming in. But either way, wherever this thing was out of balance and where somebody needed time to find their balance, there's some balance that's being struck here. And we see what comes in. Knight of Wands, moving forward, passion and purpose. And this is going to lead to that full energy. Brand new direction, moving forward. So this is really positive for air signs. There's something that's being transformed here, but there's the crossing card, okay, for air element here. And what's crossing air element? Let's see. This is what's for working for or against air element. Security, all right? We know that this is going to be something that's a big issue here, you know? First of all, it needs to be built on the right foundation. First of all, practical things need to be in place in order for this thing to move forward. We also know that security is really important in this situation. and that there may be some guarding going on here. There's that Ace of Pentacles covering the heart, okay? It's being mirrored here. I don't feel like this is an immediate thing. It's not something that happens like instantaneously. And this may be why there's a crossing energy here. And it's interesting. I brought in Neptunian energy. And what's this other card showing up here? We got the Hanged Man, okay? Piscean energy. So this is a clue here about what you need to do. You know, take your time with this situation. It's going to take time to get a different view in this situation. And this may have been a situation that's been held up for a long time. There can be a real desire to just sort of go forward very rapidly. Maybe there's a lot of passion, purpose connected to this, but there is this caution here. And I feel like that's really that Pluto direct Capricorn energy coming in, as well as this here. You know, it's like, even as we want to move into expansion, that's good, okay? But there's a way to move smartly forward into expansion, even within an old structure, as you're kind of like dismantling it. And that requires that you really lay down the proper foundation, and it feels secure. It looks like there needs to be some kind of real, like, I'm getting like ground rules of engagement in this situation. I think it's going to be important to whoever you're dealing with, and especially if there's multiple people you're dealing with, there's going to have to be some kind of foundation put in place that honors this need for stability, security, okay, and for people to feel safe enough to bring down their guards in order to really root this. But this is a timing card, so this is spring, all right? So I feel like once this comes forward and you kind of lay down the proper foundation and people feel secure in exploring, you know, the opportunity, there will be an investment made and a commitment will be made to that path. You'll plant that seed in the spring. All right, let's do a cut of the deck there, and then we'll get an arcane bullshit card to just sort of act as the archetypal template. Cut of the deck energy. 10 of Cups, all right? This looks good. Page of Wands, all right? This is the word coming in. Somebody's going to really state their intention. You know, you're going to get a message about this. This person feels like they know that wand that they want to raise, just like that, you know, Emperor energy at the North Node symbolized by the Magician. You know, this person's like, nope, I know what I want. I know what I want to create here. I know what my promise is after the storms I've been through. And somebody is really serious here. This is love, okay? So it looks like you got love coming in. It looks good. It's not going to happen overnight, all right? There's a lot of sensitivity here, but something is being refreshed where you've had a conflict. You're getting on the same page, okay? That looks really good. Where you've had difficulties within your family or within a close-knit community, I see you working it out, all right? Very positive. Wasn't expecting that, all right? Let's see about your kind of like, let's get an archetypal imagery for you to work with, sort of a theme card from the Arcane Bullshit deck. I love this deck. This deck cracks me up. I just happened to see this. Yeah, the Toilet Angel, okay? So there may be something you need to flush first. There may be something you need to give the finger first, Air Sign Collective, all right? So I feel like, you know, any final like clearing out work that you need to do, this would be a great time to do it. Okay, so just make sure you're doing any final release work you need to do. You know, it can be simple as just like letting that shit go, right? Just flush it, be done with it. That's an interesting piece coming in terms of habit. I don't know if this has been coming in for you, but maybe you've been kind of like indulging a bit or something as you've been moving through the transitions you've been dealing with. You might want to do some kind of like gentle cleansing. I wouldn't do anything like really aggressive, but it might benefit you to just do some gentle cleansing, to just like kind of let the old energy go. Maybe bump up your water, bring a little lemon water in. There's also a really great a great lower channel cleansing rasayana you can use, where you mix together equal parts of golden raisins that you've soaked overnight, you know, so they're all nice and plump and juicy. And you mix them with equal parts of raw sesame seed, and you just blend it up like a paste. and then you take a teaspoon before every meal. And you can do that for a few days, and it'll clear out like all the old shit, literally. But that definitely coincides, right? Remember that? Or we got to look at all stratums of being. Okay, so if you have had a hard time letting old stuff go, or you just feel like there's some old, real stuck stuff that needs to release, you might want to do that. And if you want to know more about that and how you can do gentle cleansing at this time to release any remnants of old stuff you're holding on to, check out, the free courses I'm offering at cobrasmedicinebag.com. Okay, the Vata build Vata resilience in 6 weeks. It's called Roots with Wings. Okay, that can be very helpful for you. And I also have the Grace in Crisis course that's also free. All of the Ayurvedic courses are free. They're available for you, so take advantage of it now, because you won't really find that anywhere else. And you got the support here from the community as well. So I recommend you take advantage of that. Maybe you started that process. You might be in this like Panchakarma process with all of us. Maybe you started, but you kind of like got stalled. Pick it back up, okay? It'll get things moving. That just coming in. Okay, so let's see. Give me a theme, an overarching theme for Air Sign Collective for this cycle. Give me an overarching theme for Air Sign Collective in this cycle. Give me an overarching theme. Ooh, yep, that Sagittarius new moon is going to be really important for you. This is interesting. Yeah, this is really interesting here. Okay, so you got hang in there. All right, Air Sign Collective, hang in there. I know it's hot in here, okay? You've really been in it, okay? You've been in it, and it's been a minute. It's been a hot minute, okay? You're definitely, like, you're not avoiding it. You're in, like, purification by fire, man. And this might be a good way to go with your ritual work tonight if you want to do some ritual release work. Working with this energy, I'm going to do this ritual. I was gifted from my friend Arbibo, sent me a snake shed and also sent me some bay leaf. And so I'm going to do this ritual that I learned from my dear friend Space Witch a long time ago, where you take pieces of snake skin and you burn it and you let it symbolize what you're releasing, what you're letting go. And so I'm going to do that. It just like, it feels really timely. It feels like it'll be a good time to do a good burn, So that's, some ideas you can work with, all right? You can also write things on bay leaf and burn them, okay? So that's something simple, just coming in as a side note. But I feel like you haven't been avoiding nothing, man. I feel like you jumped out of the frying pan. You went head first into the fire. You're not avoiding any of this. You want the transformation. You've been burning through it, but I do think it's been really intense. And you do feel like, okay, when is this going to be done? Yeah, and there's sort of like, I do feel like some of you may have been kind of like having a little battle, with spirituality lately. We got the greased priest coming in here. You may feel like, spiritually, there's just been more fuel to the fire, Look at a greased fire. It's hard to put that out, right? You may feel like, all right, I mean, how long does it take before I prove, that I'm willing to follow your will? I mean, I've submitted to all of this. What more do you want out of me? Some of you may have been having Lieutenant Dan moments. Some of you may also feel like you've been dealing with somebody that maybe came off like they were like very, very spiritually focused, that they were somebody that you could really trust. And maybe this is even somebody who claims to have higher spiritual ideals or likes to present this image of being a really good person, but you feel like there's just something that's a little like, nah. Somebody may have been working you a bit, they may have been greasing you a bit. You may have felt like, they did that only to like bend you over and screw you. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's something here where there's somebody that's been around you that maybe presents themselves as a very spiritual person, or a person you can really count on or trust. And this person's like, I don't know, man. There's something shady here, and I don't know why I'm getting this connection point, but this may have been somebody who added fuel to this fire you found yourself in, what you've been challenged with, okay? This may have even sparked within you a lot of hungry wolves, all right? You don't just got 2 wolves. You know that native story about which wolf will you feed? You got like 5 of them. I've had this come up in a previous read in relation to a community situation, and I feel like this is what you're dealing with right here. You may even be dealing with 5 people. It's interesting, 5 represents the balancing point too. I'm thinking about the balancing point in the pentagram though, so some of you have been dealing with maybe, you know, people who work the occult path. That's possible. Maybe you've had some workings thrown your way. Maybe you got old holdover stuff that you're processing, karma you're burning off in relation to old workings you did long ago that you forgot about. Or maybe you did some kind of ritual and, you know, you hit a target that you were aiming for. You know, there's some goal you wanted to bring into your life. This is the interesting thing about when you do ritual work is you never know the track that something's going to take before it hits its mark. And there's this piece here about, you know, sometimes things have to get messy before something good comes up. There's a lot of different ways this can be playing out, okay? But some of you got your fingers burned. This coming in, I have to bring it in, all right? Let's look at all pieces of this. Some of you may go like, oh man, I wish I wouldn't have done that ritual. Some of you had something protective in place. You lifted it. You wished you wouldn't have lifted it. You feel like I lifted it and now look what I'm dealing with. This is why I put protective workings in place in the first place. It can be shaken out a lot of different ways for you all, okay? But I do feel like you've been dealing with some character here who kind of presents this image like they're very helpful, they're very spiritual, you know, maybe even somebody who feels like, you know, they're in a position to give you guidance or something. And this person may have been working you a bit, right? This person may have actually been causing problems. Maybe look at that hanged man position here. Look at that. I don't know. It's giving me hanged man vibes. Fire element could be involved. Hangman coming. Pisces energy could be involved. Okay. It's interesting. Pisces, when I think about the house of Pisces, and we're dealing with this like air sign energy, right? We got Libra at the south node. When I think about Pisces, when I think about that Pisces energy, I think about how with Libra in the south node, Libra is not just about unions, okay? Their house is not just about unions and love relationships. Their house is also about open enemies, okay? But when we're looking at Pisces house, that is the house of karma, first of all, blind spots, what you can't readily see. It's also the house of hidden enemies, okay? So this could have been a hidden enemy situation that you've been dealing with that you aren't aware of, all right? And I do feel like there's more people involved in your situation than just you and maybe another person, okay? This could be a community problem. It could be a social problem. It could be a social network problem, okay? It could be a work issue. It could be a family dynamic, right? But there's a lot of different people playing a role here, okay? So there's one person here that looks like the mastermind, all right? Look at that wolf's face, okay? This individual sort of like planned all of this. This might be somebody who likes to kind of stir things up or has been orchestrating things. It could be this greased priest, all right? They like to be in control, who knows? But somebody here is just sort of watching this and enjoying everything that's being stirred up here. You got another person here who looks like they're rising to this individual's offense. Offense? Oh, I didn't mean to say that. I was going to say defense, but it came out as offense. Interesting. Ooh, the plot thickens. Maybe somebody who's like presenting themselves like they're standing up for this person, that they're coming to their defense, but they're actually the offense. They're actually against this person. Interesting. Again, the grease priest energy. This is really coming through for you, air signs. Maybe it's for show. Maybe it's for show. Maybe it's to save face. Okay, that's very interesting. We got somebody here who's just being mindful. They're kind of taking everything in. They're viewing the situation objectively. Maybe they're trying to get a lay of the land. You got another person who is just like really on this person's ass, okay? And this person's lamenting, like, what did I get myself into? They're crying out for rescue. This person may be howling at the moon. They may be howling for a reprieve. And I think all along here, this also symbolizes different aspects of you too, air signs, okay? This could represent different parts of you that you're battling with as well, and they need integration. But what I do like here is this hand is not closed. You know what I'm saying? It's open hand. It's not a fist. It's not holding on to anything. It's an open hand. So you're not working a fixed hand here, and that's beautiful because that's exactly the energy you need. And I like this because your final card here is look at you. You're fully ready. You're embracing death. You're like, all right, let's dance death. And it looks like with that Sagittarius new moon that's going to come in, you're going to hit your mark. All right. You are the master of the hunt. And where you've been dealing with some silliness, you know, I think that you're overcoming this situation. I also think you might be kind of playing with this energy as well. You're not allowing it to kind of like overwhelm you. You know, you're not allowing it to sort of dampen your view. You recognize that it's like, well, things come to an end. And if things come to an end, I may as well, you know, I may as well accept it. And I may as well, you know, look for the optimism in life, or look at the absurdity, or maybe humor has been very helpful for you. And maybe this is a clue if you're still in this space where you're really trying to integrate these different aspects of yourself, or the different aspects of your situation, or the people you're dealing with. Try not to get too hung up on it. Try not to over dramatize it, okay? Try to bring a little bit more of that questing energy into it, and realize, you know, the silliness of it all, the absurdity of it all. Either way, I see you're master of this hunt, okay? So this looks like really good energy for you. You just got to maintain yourself in the meantime, because we know you're hanging in there and it's hot in here, all right? Little challenging, all right, but it looks like you're almost there, all right? You're almost there. There's some reprieve coming, and that's very interesting. Just as I wrapped that up, I noticed, oh, that must have been what fell the other night. Ooh, okay. That's significant. I heard something clink the other night. I just noticed what it was. I didn't notice what it was. I had this ring had been sitting up on this little pot I have back there, and I also had on it this little money bag. So I think look to new moon for some kind of financial reward to come through. And look at this. There's 4 jewels. There's 4 opals on this ring. And that reminds me of the 4 jewels of the Tuatha De Danann. Okay, so I think that's, ooh, little of the wolf hair is attached to this too. Oh my goodness. Okay. I was gifted some wolf hair from a dear friend. So, wow, that's really interesting. So I feel like you're going to be having something really big come in around your destiny with that new moon in Sagittarius. Look to that. And where, you know, you've been looking for finances to pick up, I think you're going to get what you need in that regard. That's wild that it came in with that wolf hair attached. Look at this. It's wolf fur. It's just a little piece of it. But I was gifted this from a friend. That's significant. Okay. I was going to say, I had set down the deck and it made one of the cards pop up, and it's Garuda. All right. So there's your vehicle again, your vehicle for moving forward. And it's the vehicle for Vishnu, which brings blessings and abundance. So I think you're almost there. All right, air signs, hold tight. I know it's hot. Your transformation's almost complete. All right, your chariot's coming. So things are going to move forward in a positive way. All right. That was a lot. All right, there's a lot of inspiration coming in, all right? Look at those signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Look where you got them in your chart. This can give you some clues, right? Get to know your chart, know your natal chart. Also, look at the houses, okay? 3rd house, 7th house, 11th house. And, you know, see what action you got going on there. And that can let you know where these areas will be opening up for you and what you need to put in place, okay? All right, now we are going to get into fire sign energy. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. I just noticed this, bottom of the deck here, the sun. Looks like you're casting off some shadow fire sign energy. You all are getting ready to step into the light, you know, with that little baby energy there on the horse, okay? I feel like you're going to get moving forward. I feel like you're starting to come into your power. You realize that you kind of cloaked your power for too long. You sort of allowed yourself to. It's interesting. It's like you're hidden in the shadows, but not by choice. It's almost like it feels like it's something that was put on you by others, and you're ready to really like shed this image or shed this identity or shed the projections that other people have been putting on you, and you're ready to really step into the light. It's going to bring you a lot of joy, you know, with that sun card there. That could be coming in really strongly for Leo. The sun is Leo's card, okay? So that's a good message, all right? I like this so far. It's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good. I'm feeling hopeful, okay? We are looking at action. When we're looking at fire sign energy, we're looking at passion. We're looking at purpose. So what is coming in this lunar cycle for fire sign collective? Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. What is coming in this cycle for fire sign collective? Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. All right, let's just stop there. Ooh, you're speaking some truth. Ace of Swords, okay? I think you're gearing up for this. This is really gonna, you know, go places in the winter season. Whatever you're getting ready to communicate, it's a very powerful action. It does bring some kind of victory. It does bring some kind of success, okay? I see that right here. Look at that crown on top of that sword. This is going to be a powerful action. It's really going to draw a line under the past I got, all right? Very bold. It requires courage, but I see you using it, and I see you wielding that sword. There's an important communication coming in. Ugh. Some of you are definitely ending something with somebody who kind of like left you out of the loop, left you out in the cold, always made you feel like, you know, you weren't good enough. That's what I just heard. This is somebody who could have cheated on you or otherwise took advantage of you. Scorpio energy, front and center. I do see you ending one cycle so you can head towards something new. You got something at the foundation of this that you're looking to create with the 10 of Cups, okay? That's interesting energy. All right, I'm going to go ahead and leave these energies on the board. I'm going to keep this 10 of Cups on the bottom of the deck, though, all right? So let's go ahead and just get shuffling and see what wants to come in for Aries, Leo, Sagittarius this lunar cycle. What is coming in for fire sign collective Aries, Leo, Sagittarius this lunar cycle? 123.48. Let me write this down. Let me go back a little bit. Let's do 116. I don't know if that's right. I'll put it as a rough one. Okay. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, what's coming in for fire sign collective this lunar cycle? It's hard when you get to channeling and working with the cards to remember timestamps. It is, but I know people like to have them. Okay, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. I feel like you're in the place right now where you're finding your balance, okay? Especially for Sagittarius, this is coming in very strongly. And I do feel like whatever it is you're working on balancing out right now, you're definitely going to hit that point with the new moon in Sagittarius coming in. This cycle, what's really important for you is you want to move away from what's been causing you all this stress and anxiety, okay? There's something that's really been affecting you. There's something that you need to definitely let go of here. And it has everything to do with a fear, a sense of loss, grief, you know. There's something that you've really been trying to process. You may have been having difficulty sleeping, okay? You are going to be moving away from this, but I feel like it's so important that you let this go. You know, you really need to do the release work around this and not avoid your feelings in this regard. Spiritual baths can be super helpful for you with temperance coming in. Temperance is always my sign that there's some kind of spiritual cleansing that needs to be done in this situation. And Ted just said yes. Okay. So as always, as I always bring in, just because it's such a simple and effective way to go, is the Edgar Cayce remedy, which is 2 cups baking soda to 2 cups sea salt or Epsom salt. You soak for 20 minutes and your energy is brand new. All right. Highly recommended. From there, you can add anything else you want. All right. If you don't have access to a tub, bay leaf is excellent. You can just get bay leaf. You can brew it up as a tea. Let it cool, of course, okay? But then you can just like dump it over your head. You can also use it as a floor wash. It's really good for that. And just because you had the 5 of Pentacles come in, I don't know if like you dealt with some kind of loss in a situation where somebody even took advantage of you financially or ripped you off financially, and you've been having a lot of stress around this. If that's the case where you've been struggling with your finances, bay leaf is excellent for using as a floor wash to help bring in, you know, financial abundance. It's very effective for that. I do feel like, you know, this would really benefit you though, to do some kind of spiritual cleansing work. You're definitely in a healing process, and you're actively in the process of closing out an old cycle, releasing the pain around it, relieving yourself of stress and worry, and you're balancing something out. Some of you may be in a recovery process. Some of you may be entering into recovery and you're getting involved in some kind of support group. And this is really helping you work through your emotions. You're having to really encounter some feelings that you haven't really encountered before. Perhaps that's why you have the 9 of Swords showing up, you know. You're used to kind of numbing things out, or you're used to distracting yourself from what you're feeling in one way, shape, or form. And because of that, now that you've took away the distractions, or you're not using unhealthy coping mechanisms anymore, you're definitely feeling everything and it's activating, all right? There is the guide here, not only for the cleansing, but you might want to get some support in your healing process. You know, it can be very helpful to just like talk to a therapist, or, you know, maybe enter into some kind of healing community or support group, okay? So you might be looking at something like this, but I do feel like you're definitely healing and you're alchemizing this energy. So that's really positive here, okay? Let me see what's on the bottom of the deck here. Hello. I just said you're alchemizing this energy. This is beautiful. You're ready. Like, you're ready. You're ready. After you get through with this, man, I'm telling you, when it hits that Sagittarius new moon, I love it because the sword energy came in, right? That Ace of Swords, that reminds me of Fraggle, okay? The sword of truth. It only has power if you take the action to speak it, right? You got to draw it from its sheath for it to activate the power behind it. I see you doing that. And you're marrying it with action with this. The Magician. There's the fire energy coming in. You owning your fire, speaking your truth, using that spear of Lu to shoot your shot towards your destiny. This is beautiful. This is rebirth energy. This is a brand new cycle. This is you being empowered. This is the alchemist. All right. Very potent energy. There's an opportunity to begin anew for you. I see you really in a place of balance. And what I love about the Magician is, if you look, he's got all the aces there. Okay. You got all of them. All right. You got all of them. You're ready to activate your destiny. You may be going through the final stages of this right now. You may be still struggling a bit. You might have a lot coming up for you in your dream life, okay? That's what I see. It seems like a lot of the emotions are going to be surfacing for you in the late night hours, or this is when you get a lot of guidance from your subconscious coming in. You might be doing some processing around this and doing some emotional release. Like you might find yourself crying. It's okay, man. Like let the tears flow. This is good. You don't want to hold that energy in. It's important to let it out. And that's why the spiritual baths can really help, working with the water element in that way, because when you feel really drained from crying a lot, it can feel so comforting to just like sink yourself into a nice warm tub with all the mineral salts. It can remind you of being back in like that womb space. And that's very much where you're at right now, fire signs. You're in this place where you're in the womb space, okay? And this is a sensitive time, and it's very important that you're mindful of what you're nurturing in this space. Oh my goodness. Whoa. I look right behind that. We got the King of Swords. Here's the air sign energy, air, fire energy together. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And what do we got right behind that? I can't make it up. The High Priestess. Holy moly. Spiritual connection. You're really connecting with your spiritual path. You're going through deep spiritual purification, fire sign energy. This is an activation for real. And it's all coming about because you are really cutting off an old karmic cycle. Like you're drawing a line under the past. You're doing the release work, the transformational work. There's something awakening in you. And I feel like some of you might be coming into harmony with the teacher or with a real deep soul connection. This is a transformational connection that you're coming into alignment in here. There's a lot of alchemy here. A lot of alchemy here. And for those of you who are on occult paths, this is you really like refining yourself. It's like maybe you didn't always act with the highest intentions or the highest consciousness on your path with the Seven of Swords. And there's something that you've really transformed here, and you're getting like a new kind of download, and you've done a lot of work around this. This also could be you finally moved through like the backfire energy of some work that you did before. Maybe just because you did it unconsciously, you know, but you're soon on the other side of that. And now it's sort of like an initiatory gateway. This has big initiation gateway to me. It's a spiritual initiation that you're going through. There's something you're transforming here and alchemizing, and it's bringing you into alignment big time. I also see it as a sacred marriage between the masculine and feminine aspects of the self. So this is you opening up the road so the creative energy can come through. Really beautiful energy, man. Deep healing you got going on here. Very transformational. Cut of the deck. Look at this. Ace of Cups. You got a beginning in love happening here. And you have every reason to hope for this with the star. You may have a strong Aquarius placement in your chart. You could be dealing with an Aquarius. Something really significant could happen around this in Aquarius season. Again, here's the piece about make sure that you are connecting with water element. And we got that temperance energy running very strongly there. I think the Sagittarius new moon is going to bring something very pivotal forward for you in relation to this. I believe it's around communication. There's some communication that opens up. You actually exercise that sword and you speak your truth, and you're taking that action very clearly. This opens up a new cycle, and it's something that unlocks your destiny. You're going to see the full fruition of that, and like what that action resulted in sometime in the winter, probably in Aquarius season. That's what I'm thinking, okay? But it brings a new beginning in love, but it's because you poured into yourself first, all right? There's something that you're bringing into alignment within yourself first with that Ace of Cups, and then it nurtures further growth in your life. So this is really cool energy too. All right, air, fire, doing really well here. Let's see. A little bit more kind of like release work needed for fire. I don't think that fire is sort of like as clean with things as air element seems to be. Okay, so where there's fire, Yeah, look at this fucking guy on the split of the deck here. I mean, this might be some really old stuff. This reminds me of the kind of headwear that the pharaohs wore. So this might be some old stuff here. Look at that bit. You know, you got a wand with the magician. Look at this. This is like more kind of club energy. Okay, so it is that kind of like big D energy too. And I don't just mean that in terms of gender. It's like the spirit of that. Like whatever action you're preparing to take, it's big, it's bold, it's strong, but I also feel like you got a little combative energy here too, something you're ironing out. Oh, yes, look, you're cutting the ties to something. There might be an Egypt piece. Okay, there might be something really old. It might be related to a life you had in Egypt. I'm sorry, I got to go out there with this, but this is coming through. Look at the Ouroboros. Notice how it's cut in half here, okay? There's something you're rising above. I love how, again, there's that Garuda imagery coming through. There's something you're rising above here. I think you're at the stage where you're feasting on like what's opposed you. You're in some battle with something, and that's why you still have some stress and some grief. But you're definitely going to see your way through this. And I see you got protection, all right? You might be working with kind of like cloaking your energy right now. I see you working really with that dark moon energy. Again, that is Sagittarius new moon, all right? There's something here. You get the keys to your freedom. Oh, man. Whatever this communication is that you're bringing forward and whatever it is that you're cutting off now because you've done enough digesting with it, that's what I see, because that's what the Ouroboros is about, digesting itself. Okay, you may feel that somebody was like sort of a snake in the grass in your situation that worked against you. This person did themselves in. You didn't even need to do it for them. Like they kind of shot themselves in the foot. That's what I got. This person's now like they're eating themselves. Like, oh, I thought I might have to deal with you. I don't. You took yourself out. Okay, cool. Oh, whoa. This is interesting. It feels like settling an old score there, though. It feels like something very ancient there in that situation, okay? Either way, this is a really big, bold action you're going to be taking. And I see you moving forward, too. It comes in with that Sagittarius new moon, though. All right, new moon is going to pop off for air and fire. All right, fire, you still got a little bit more of the old heavy energy to shed. You need to do a little bit more cleansing, a little more release work, and you might be working out a lot. You know, in the subconscious might be rising to the surface, repressed memories. You might want to get some kind of support for that. You know, therapeutic support or like support group or you know, something just to help you navigate that. It can be very helpful, right? Okay, let's see. Let's get an overarching theme for Fire Collective. Overarching theme for Fire Collective for this lunar cycle. Overarching theme for Fire Collective this lunar cycle. Overarching theme for Fire Collective this lunar cycle. All right, kept it nice and easy. Just one card. I love it. Look at this. It came out in reverse and it's an eagle chained to a cap. I love how Garuda is coming in, man. Maybe you worked with that questing like session I brought in around Garuda. I love this. I love this. Look at this. An eagle chained to a calf. So calves are very docile, okay? Calves are very docile creatures, and there might have been something that was sort of inhibiting your freedom, something you felt chained to, something that was holding you back, and you had become kind of subservient to this, or you were just sort of fulfilling a duty, but in some way it was inhibiting your freedom and it was keeping you from moving forward. Whatever this is, you're freeing yourself from it because it's in reverse and you're not docile anymore. I feel like you're really standing up for yourself and taking charge of your life, but it feels like you're not just wrapping up an old karmic cycle. You're going through like a spiritual initiation. Like there's something that has really shifted in you on a fundamental level. I think that your consciousness has expanded And you may have some kind of activation happening that's in relation to having a spiritual teacher come on your path, or somebody who's opening up your mind to new things, or you could be coming into relationship with somebody that you shared many lifetimes with, and there's some real deep spiritual connection here. But there's also this piece about like breaking bonds with something that's been a really entrenched karmic cycle that's just been playing out over and over and over and over again. For some of you, where there is a magical component, you recently freed yourself from some kind of binding work, okay? Either way, you're free, you're moving forward, and that looks really good. All right, air and fire, man. You're on it. You're in it to win it. That sounds really good. Let's head on to Water Sign Collective. See, 14033. That's significant. Building block for your future, Water Sign Collective. Okay. A lot of like ascended master energy around you right now. I just got Paramahansa Yogananda came through. You might be reading autobiography of a yogi. There might be a piece there that you're really connecting with. Maybe you're really connecting with a yoga path, and through that, you're starting to sort of build your spirit team. Interesting. You might be having a new guide come in. All right, we're starting to get out there. That makes sense. I mean, it is water element. Okay. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. We're looking at Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. What's coming in for Water Sign Collective? Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio in this lunar cycle. Any significant placement in the chart: Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, Mercury, Mars, Saturn, Pluto. If you do go down that route, if you are going to dive deeper into yoga, I encourage you check out the Yoga Aphorisms of Patanjali and join us on Cover's Medicine Bag for that book club, okay? Because I think that's going to be really fun. I'm looking forward to that, to actually have like community to build around this, you know, dropping in on books that we're reading together that are actually consciousness expanding. I think it can be really cool. And that book, if you've never read it before, it's like foundational. If you're going to be on a yogic path, it really helps you understand what's awakening in you and what's happening within you as you're in this process of transformation. Okay. Very potent. Very potent energy. Okay. All right. What is coming in this lunar cycle for Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Water Sign Collective? All right, last one. Okay. Bottom of the deck energy. You're very focused on your security. You're very focused on stability, the foundation. I do feel like there's something you're holding close to your heart. It's coming through a little differently for you. You stand on it. You believe in it. You're banking on it. You feel like it's something that's been inspired by spirit, and you're holding tight to it. Like you're not going to let this seed go. It's like this new opportunity you believe in. It's a vision you believe in. It's something that you're really holding tight to. Let me do 3 cuts here and just get some more foundational energy here. I think right now you're very focused on your spiritual path. You may be spending some time alone. You may be going your own way. You're getting in touch with your soul. You're getting in touch with your spirit, and you're letting your intuition guide you forward. You might also just be enjoying spending some time to yourself, and you're doing a lot of self-reflection, okay? This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. You know, you're letting that light within you guide you forward. There is a star there that is in the lantern. So there's this hope you have. It's this light that you're building. It's something you're holding very close to your heart. You're letting this guide you forward at this time. Okay, cut here. You did have to walk away from something with the 8 of Cups. And again, that hermit energy is being mimicked here. Notice the staff. This was something you had invested a lot of time and energy in. And at one point, you did view it as your 10 of Cups. We know that with the 8 of Cups, by the time you get to that point, it's like you've poured a lot of yourself into this thing. but there's something that's calling you forward in a different direction, and it means you have to go your own way. I see you making this choice very firmly with this energy coming in with this full moon. There is something you're letting go, and you're going your own way. You're breaking from the pack, and you're going your own way, and you're following a calling that's really deep in your heart. Okay, one more cut. And here comes your Wheel of Fortune, all right? So there is a turn of fortune here for you. Whatever you're releasing, it could have something to do with a fixed sign energy, okay? That could be Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, Scorpio. Also on this particular card, Ophiuchus, all right? So there's some cycle that's coming to an end here. You're moving out of a fixed position. I think that's because there's some kind of truth that's coming forward that you didn't see before with that Sphinx energy there, all right? Again, that Egypt piece coming in prominently. There's something that you're releasing, a karmic cycle is closing, and where you've been stuck, you're finally going to move forward. So this is good news, but it does have you walking away from something and you're going your own way. Okay, what? Wow, that flew right out. I'll be interested to see what that is. And it's interesting, it fell right on top of the Super Awesome Future deck. So I'm going to go ahead and bring that out. Oh, we got a lot of energy here on the board. I want to look at this card first because I feel like it's really significant. This card flew out, and I'm just going to show you. This card flew out, this tarot card flew out, and it landed right on top of the Super Awesome Future deck. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take that top card because I feel like it has some kind of message for you. First of all, let's see what this is. Something where it wasn't an even give and take. You feel like it was an imbalance in this situation, an imbalance of power. I think this is what you're freeing yourself from. You're like, I'm not going to be in a situation like this. I'm not going to be in a situation where there's all give and a lot of taking going on, but there's nothing coming back my way, you know. I feel like you've had it. There's something you're just throwing the towel on, and that's what it appears. Let's see what this might have had to do with. Ooh, financially, okay? Financially. And we got Taurus energy there again coming through very strongly, all right? So maybe you felt like there was a situation with a Taurus where, you know, you really lost a lot of money. That's possible. This could have been an unwise investment. There's definitely a money piece here. You might be moving away from something you've been doing financially. You thought that it would bear, you know, a certain level of success. You just realize that you're in a position that maybe you need to go your own way, you know. Maybe you've been trying to make something happen within an old framework and it's just not cutting it anymore. And you recognize that if you really want to see the kind of success you want to see or create the kind of security and financial stability you want for yourself, you kind of have to go your own way. You have to strike out on your own and maybe get into business for yourself. Some of you might be exploring the stocks, okay? I think a lot of this has to do with you really understanding your value and what you have to offer, all right? You're getting out of dynamics where you feel like you don't have any say-so, okay? Or in some way you feel like you're at a disadvantage because you don't have the financial upper hand. There's some piece here about feeling like something's had power over you, and this power was largely related to your finances, your stability, you know, practical concerns here. And I see you casting this off and you're taking a gamble. You're taking a gamble to go your own way. This is the action you're taking with the Magician coming up here. You're ready to go your own way. You got an idea, you know, and it's just about you acting on this idea. Once you act on this idea, you're going to find out that it brings a lot of success. Notice all of this moving into the black is all aligned with this yellow brick road, okay? So we know that there's certain things that you're going to have to grok in order to really take advantage of this inspiration you have. First of all, you know, you need to have courage, okay? You need to use your brain, all right? You need to have a lot of heart. It has to be something you really feel in your heart, right? You can't just go through the motions, you know. If you're going to really find this kind of success and and reward you're looking for in your life and stability, it has to be built on something that you actually feel connected to. All right. So I feel like this is what you're really getting realigned with. And it looks like it's very much connected to finances. All right. And then finally, there's recognizing that you had the power all along. Okay. And that's what lands you where, you want to be. All right. So there's something you're creating here. I feel like a lot of you are maybe establishing your own business and you're getting free of this sense of oppression. Okay. In some way, you felt really oppressed by the man. Okay. I see that here. We got the emperor coming in with the devil. In some way, you felt very chained, very inhibited, overpowered by somebody. This could even be somebody having too much control over you, somebody controlling the purse strings. This could also be with an establishment, okay? Like maybe you worked for a corporation, or you had somebody who was in some kind of position of power over you that greatly affected your stability, your security. And this really made you feel like you were trapped and you couldn't get beyond it. Some of you, this was you drawn to head in a certain direction because maybe it looked like it promised, some huge financial reward. It was a trap. You ended up really realizing that, I can't stay stuck here. I got to set myself free. I got to set myself free. With this Taurus piece coming out here, for some of you, you could be Taurus rising. That would make you a Scorpio descendant. If that's the case, if you have Taurus rising, I feel like this might have been playing out for you within a love relationship. If you have a strong Taurus placement in your chart, I feel like this is like the ties that bind in a love relationship. And there was a real imbalance of power in this situation. And at the same time, you felt very trapped to it, attached to it, chained to it. Emperor energy is also Taurus energy and Aries energy. With the Magician here, we have Aries energy as well. Okay, so this could be playing out in regard to that. It's also about being held back from activating your North Node, your destiny, because you've been in some oppressive situation where you weren't empowered. And the only way you could step into your power and get this freedom and head off in your own direction that leads to your destiny, which looks like, you won't have monetary concerns. Okay, it looks like abundance here. But it's by you striking out on your own that you achieve this abundance. And maybe you stayed stuck in a position, a role, a relationship, where somebody had power over you for too long because you viewed this as your meal ticket, or you viewed this as your stability and your security. And actually that was an illusion. And it had everything to do with you really discovering the power within yourself. Let's remember that the devil is also that Capricorn energy. Okay, so for you to activate this for yourself and to head off in this new direction, you got to be like the goat, man. You got to be persistent. You got to be in it to win it. You got to lay down the right foundation. All right, and you got to work really hard. And I feel like you're going to be doing that, and you might really be focusing a lot of energy building for yourself. All right. Some of you are really freeing yourselves from a toxic relationship pattern. It greatly affected your finances. You suffered some kind of loss here, all right? And you're switching this up. Yeah. You were offered, this cup of love again. I feel like it came back around for you again, or it will. This will be up for review. It's something that really disappointed you. And it may be because there was third-party interference in this situation. The thing is, though, is I see you with that Eight of Cups energy. I see you turning it down. And with it in reverse, it'll be more of the same. Okay? But I do feel like this is going to come back around the bend. Largely, though, this feels like this is mostly playing out in the work arena for you all. For some of you, there's a little bit of a romance piece in here, but it feels more like a controlling aspect, like something that you felt held you back from really expanding into your full success. It could be because, maybe you just got kind of comfortable being in a relationship, and you got sort of just like in that place where you got disconnected from your own personal ambitions. You know, it happens sometimes in relationship. You get socked into your role. Either way, I see you shaking this off, and a lot of it's connected to your abundance, to your finances, and something you want to grow for yourself. You have some inspiration, something you want to head towards here, and I feel like you're going to do it. For those of you who've been doing more traditional work, you might be breaking out in a more unconventional direction. For some of you, that may be something that has metaphysics as its basis, okay? Or it may be something that has like kind of a spiritual component to it, or some type of alchemical work involved. So that could even involve like getting into the field of counseling or supporting people in their transformations, right? There's something here you're breaking free of, though, so you can pursue your own direction. And it has a lot to do with work and finances, all right? And I see you finding the balance in this situation. And a lot of you, this is doing some kind of spiritual work, some type of psychic work, some type of metaphysical work, some type of healing work, okay? You're heading in this direction. I could see this in terms of healing work. Maybe you're somebody who worked more for like an established kind of organization, like maybe you worked for a hospital, maybe you were a nurse, maybe you worked within Western medicine, and now you're like, nope, I want to get more into holistic healing arts, okay? So I can see that here, this piece kind of coming in. Some of you may do work around plants. I'm just cluing into the plants here that are coming in with the Magician. So maybe you're going to get into this herbalism, okay? This might form the basis. I am picking up this piece that you want to pursue a certain direction, and maybe it's unconventional. You're going your own way. You're breaking with tradition. This is going to be very successful for you, okay? I do see you taking action with this, and it's part of the work you're meant to do. Let me do a kind of the deck energy for you all and see what other details want to come in around this. Yes, there's definitely some cycle that's come to an end. I don't think it was the easiest cycle. It is the Judgment. This is like, you know, definitely something that's been decided on. There was something here that had its roots in the past for sure. It's a big, important karmic cycle. Could be connected with Libra energy. Right behind that, right behind Judgment, we have Death. Yeah, there's an ending here for sure, okay? Coming in really strongly around Scorpio energy as well. And yes, there is a rebirth that follows this, but I feel for you, the rebirth is in you really stepping onto your own path. You're moving forward with this Hermit energy, okay? Could be Virgo factoring into your situation. You could be Virgo rising, and this is around a relationship. And if that's the case, you could be a Pisces descendant, all right? And this is coming through very strongly for you. So I'm trying to help y'all look at your charts and your different placements and how you can connect with this energy, okay? Either way, whatever was released here, you might have hoped for a revival in a situation. I got that. There could have been somebody you were hoping there could be like a reunion or revival energy with, but it looks like a no on that, all right? With the Ten of Swords there. This is done, and that's the Judgment, all right? But there's something about this that you don't see. It really frees you up and moving forward. Whatever situation you were dealing with, it was like some kind of third-party situation. There was some outside element that just made it inequitable. There's a lot of disappointment there, but you're putting too much focus there. There really is a need to just like let it be done, you know? Put a fork in it, it's done. Stop hoping for a refresh on that situation. There is love here for you, okay? But it's in your future. It's not back there, all right? The other side of that, Hangman. This could be coming in very strongly for Pisces, all right? Pisces energy there, all right? There's a different view you need here. And I believe the view is to look forward, not back, all right? Up ahead, it looks good. You're about to go on an adventure. It's going to require courage. It's going to require heart. It's going to reawaken you to the power you have to step into your destiny. It's going to reveal gifts to you. And it brings you abundance. It brings you success, okay? And adventure. So that's not so bad, all right? It's not so bad at all. Keep focused, man. Keep focused on the right direction. Let me go ahead and get you all one of these arcane bullshit cards, and we'll just see what your like overarching theme is. Yeah, you're in a place of transformation that comes after destruction. Look at this. This is like moth energy, okay? Which is very similar. It's very similar to butterfly medicine. Only difference is it's sort of like maybe you were drawn to the flame. There's a little bit more destruction involved here. A clash between like, look at this, like primal urges, the dark side. There's something here that you're really in the process of transforming. And I like how this bomb, it's going down into, you know, it has very much this like impregnation energy. So it's sort of like, it's reminding me of that Shiva Shakti kind of energy. It's like you sometimes have to dance with your darkness, you know. Sometimes the primal urges take over. They lead us down a garden path. And we do get drawn. Oh, yeah, look at this. What's on the other side there? An eagle chained to a calf, okay? Mm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's really a need to embrace what needs to be released, you know? Sometimes things don't turn out the way we want them to, or we think they should. There's something destructive about the process you're going through. I feel like there's like a punctuation on it, okay? I feel like that's coming through for those of you who found yourself in some kind of relationship that maybe brought forward certain like shadow aspects within you. There's something heavy here that you're transforming, and it definitely involves like breaking the ties that bind, like being a break in the link of the chains of the past. Oh, I got like blockage coming up in the throat chakra right now. You know? Oh yeah. There's something there to look at. We have to remember when we're looking at Vishuddha, when we're looking at the throat chakra, it's not just about vocalization. It's not just about speaking your truth. It's not just about communication, although I do feel like there's something here that you need to speak to, and yet it's held back. There's also a piece here you have to remember about throat chakra that is about aligning with your purpose. Sometimes it's best to know when to hold your tongue. I got with that hangman energy coming in and the hermit energy coming in, it really illuminates that there's a need for a different perspective. It illuminates that this wants to come in. What we want to control inevitably ends up controlling us, okay? So there's a real need to let go in a situation where it may be difficult to let go. But there's something in allowing yourself to be consumed by those flames, right? That leads to a transformation that actually activates your purpose and lights your way forward. Though you might not be able to see it right now because it's hard to walk away from this thing, you really were invested in it. Oh man, there's so much blockage coming in around the throat, okay? This is what's coming in. Give me an overarching theme, please, for Water Sign Collective. Overarching theme for Water Sign Collective, okay? Interesting how the shuffling was kind of getting a little blocked up there. Okay, this landed in the lap. We got shrimp and guns. Okay. And we have the shitty acoustic guitar guy. But look at this. I talked about this. You're meant to be a break in the link of the chains that bind, the ties that bind. There's something that is being set free here, okay? This always makes me think of Freedom Rock. Every time I see this, every time I see this card, it reminds me of Freedom Rock, that old commercial, there's something here about you may have felt very committed to this thing. You may not realize how much it was holding you back from your true purpose. You're meant for bigger things, or this wasn't the thing you needed to hit yourself to. This could also be in some cases that, somebody, chose freedom. They broke free from you. It can work both ways, really. When we look at shrimp and guns, I think of shrimp. I think of bottom feeders, okay? And with the guns piece here, it feels like there's two players here. And maybe they weren't acting out of their higher natures, maybe there's something happened here that, wasn't coming from the right place. I think there's a connection here where maybe too much was operating on a subconscious level that was bringing too much shadow element forward. And, you might be kind of like got the gun aimed at each other. You know what I'm saying? You might not realize that this connection or whatever you had yourself chained to before, you may not realize the way that it was actually kind of holding you hostage, and the way that you also held this person hostage. There's something here that's discovered, but not until the axe is swung and there's sort of like this cutting off from it. And it's once you get some perspective and some distance and some space from this thing, whether it was like a job you were committed to, it feels like there's some kind of relational component involved. Like there's something you felt chained to, and this person had some kind of authority over you. And I feel like the authority, though, is the authority you attributed to it, all right? You felt very committed to this thing. You poured a lot of time and energy into this particular direction. You saw it panning out in a certain way, but it didn't match up. And there's this piece about the sooner you accept this and you cut this off and you just trust going your own way, you'll realize that this thing actually kind of kept you on this one level of experience. It kept you bottom feeding. Like, you're not meant to be hiding out, hiding out in the shadow, you're meant to really experience this freedom and get a different view and move through life in a spirit of celebration, and also maybe move forward in a more creative way. Some of you may have been dealing with a musician, you may have been dealing with a musician. You may feel like, you were promised a lot of big things, and in the end, it just kind of turned out to be not all it was cracked up to be. You were expecting lobster, you got shrimp. Okay, I don't know what to tell you, man. But whoever you were dealing with, somebody in this equation wants to be free, and somebody in this equation may be trying to maintain control or hold on. And this is what needs to be acknowledged here. But we see here, it looks like the shitty acoustic guitar guy wants to be free. And this could even be the piece of like, maybe judging somebody and what they want as being like, subpar, not good enough. But this is who this person is. And for them, that really speaks to them. They want to just be happy and footloose and fancy free, and they want to do what speaks to their heart and their soul, and they don't want to be chained to this thing. Either way, I feel like there's a lot of hostilities in whatever situation you've been dealing with, and there's been a lot of like stuff operating like sort of beneath the surface. Definitely has a lot of shadow energy that needs to be transformed, particularly in the it's like around the blame game, like who's responsible, or, you know, it's got that shots fired energy, but you're both accusing the other. And it's like, no, you're kind of like you're on the same level. Like you were both down there hanging out on the bottom, doing things in the dark, you know. You both were acting out of your shadow. No one is better than the other in this situation. And it's sort of like accepting this, and also accepting that freedom is what's desired. And though you may not see it right now, there's something you'll see later. Okay. There's like a different perspective that needs to be gained here. Could be involving a musician, could be involving a musician, just for that to come in. Usually when that card comes in, there's a musician in play. All right, well, you know, musicians, just take it from somebody that everybody I've ever been involved with romantically has been a musician, except for one person. Okay. I can tell you they're people that they like their freedom. They do. They like their freedom. It's really hard to find a musician who wants to settle down, man. I mean, not that they can't, okay? But if you're looking at a rock and roller, man, I don't know. Good luck. Good luck. And if you try to come in between their music and them, oh, oof, that's not good, okay? So just take it from me. I know how to work with that energy. My father is a musician, and I've been around musicians my whole life. So, and I'm a musician too. So, you know, that's the thing. Yeah, Rhubarb Tony, old Rhubarb Tony is set in his ways, you know. I am who I am. I'm going to do what I want to do, and there ain't no way you're going to make me choose any different, okay? This person's old school. Look at prehistoric. You may feel like this person really is just like so set in their ways. Like you try to get this person to conform, good luck, or vice versa. This person tried to get you to conform. Ain't gonna happen. Rhubarb coming in. Rhubarb has very special medicine to it. Okay, it's come in before. Rhubarb is really good for kind of helping move more into like the softness and the heart, and I don't know, make a rhubarb pie, you know, bring a little sweetness in. You might feel a little better, water signs, okay? But hey, you got a bright future ahead of you, and you just got to be open to the spirit of adventure. It's not always easy to end an old cycle, all right? But there's something that really comes through here for you. And I feel like once you get some distance from it, you're going to have a different perspective. You're going to realize how much that situation was holding you back and keeping you in the dark, you know? It wasn't really letting you step into your light and shine. You get free of it, and it's like it opens up your road. You step into a whole new experience, and your finances look really good. A lot of financial growth and success for you. So, you know, let that encourage you moving forward, okay? And then let's see, 2/12/42. Going to do Earth sign energy. Let me get another sip here. Home stretch. All right, let's ground it out. Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. What is coming in this lunar cycle? For Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. What is coming in this lunar cycle for Earth sign energy? Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. What is coming in this lunar cycle for Earth sign energy? Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. I got to look at this right off the bat, I have to say, because one of the super awesome future cards is like sticking out a little bit from the deck, and I just pushed it away. I think that's significant. There's something you're pushing away. What is this? Abundance? You're pushing abundance away. Taurus, there you are. You're pushing abundance away. Oh, well, maybe you're that Taurus rising energy that came in the last time. Interesting. Or maybe you're pushing away an offer of financial assistance because you realize it's a compromising arrangement. Okay. You could be pushing away an old way of earning money to head in a direction. Interesting for that. Ted just gave his approval on that message. Interesting that there's that like carryover. I didn't realize I had put that card back on top of that deck. But I distinctly, like, I pushed it away. So there's something you're refusing. I think somebody might be giving you like some kind of offer, some kind of financial offer or opportunity, and you're refusing it. If you feel like it's a compromising arrangement, that's what's coming in. You're turning down one thing so you can head in another. Just as a side note, Earth sign collective, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Any significant placement in the chart, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, Mercury, Mars, Saturn, Pluto, or significant placement in the house. When we're looking at Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, we are looking at second house, we are looking at sixth house, and we are looking at 10th house, okay? So do check out those areas of your chart, see how these messages may be influencing things, this lunar cycle. What's coming in for Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, this lunar cycle? How will this lunar cycle play out for Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn? One more, okay. Seven of Swords. This character has shown up too much in this read. Did everybody get the Seven of Swords? I mean, I feel like it came in for every group, man. Okay, this is like underhanded stuff. This is trying to get away with something. This is foul play. Balderdash, what's behind it? Hangman. Okay, something is being hung up, okay, because of foul play. Somebody didn't move right. There's some kind of underhandedness here, trickery, deception. Something's been done in the dark and it's creating like a stalemate, stagnancy, stuck point. Hangman energy, Piscean energy there. All right, let's see what comes in. We're going to go ahead and shuffle now. What's coming in for Earth sign energy, this lunar cycle for Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn? What's coming in this lunar cycle? Oh my goodness. Oh, well, maybe that's why you're pushing away this offer. Hold up. These came in together. We got the Knight of Swords here, okay, coming in with the Nine of Pentacles. I think this is that offer. There's some offer that's going to come your way very rapidly, okay? It's an opportunity to move forward, and it's an opportunity to move forward for some kind of real big financial payoff. At least this is what's being promised. Let me see what else we got here to get the full picture. Okay, this could be in relation to a Virgo, all right? Hermit in reverse. It's also an opportunity to build with another, all right? 10 of Pentacles. Okay, so this is definitely building something with another person. Comes in very quickly. You may be trying to decide if you should invest with somebody or if you should go your own direction. And it's really coming forward in terms of finances. It's interesting because there was this piece of like pushing away an offer that feels compromising. And yet this is what's on the table. I feel like there's a caution here. You do need to wait and see. There's some kind of like hidden element here with the Hangman coming in with the Seven of Swords. You are strongly considering this though. With the Knight of Swords coming in, this offer is going to come in very quickly. And it looks like it provides an opportunity for a big financial payout. You're trying to decide between these two directions. Do I stick it out on my own? Do I build for myself? Or do I take this offer and build with another? This could be some kind of contractual agreement being put on the table. Like somebody wants to invest in your idea. They want to invest in your business. If you do this, though, you lose your independence, okay? which is what you might want to be careful of. You got to be careful with signing contracts. I say this because with the Knight of Swords, it can also represent legal action, okay? And there's some kind of trickery involved here, or there's something that could be lost. You need to be mindful of this. Really significant if you are a Taurus rising. I have to bring that piece in again because this message kind of filtered in a little bit with water sign energy, and there's that Piscean energy here. Or if you have a really strong Pisces placement in your chart and also a strong earth sign placement, you might really want to pay attention to this, okay? I feel like you got to be careful about any kind of contracts you sign. You're considering signing it. I know this because with the Hermit here, you're in reverse, okay? But to have the Hermit in reverse is not a good card to have in reverse. We need to understand this because when the Hermit is upright, the Hermit is really using the internal guidance, the spiritual guidance to be led forward. The Hermit has some kind of light, some kind of inspiration, something that is what they're using to lead them forward on their path out of a time of darkness, okay? They're walking on their own. Maybe you already started to head towards a path that was really inspiring you, something you were building for yourself. And you were really inspired to head in this direction, but you kind of been waiting to reach this place of the Nine of Pentacles, right? That place of like success, abundance, the payoff you were hoping to see. With this in reverse like this, though, you may feel like, yeah, but I'm not seeing this. I haven't arrived there yet. I'm still struggling financially, but you got a really good idea, okay? You got a really good idea. It's just, it's something that's been on hold. You've been waiting for it to develop. Now here comes this offer, swiftly, promising, big reward, might require you to get into some kind of like legally binding arrangement in this situation. And you need to be careful because there's something compromising here and it could get you in trouble. I don't think it's an accident that I like pushed away that offer. Again, Taurus, factoring in strongly here. Taurus, pay attention with this, okay? Where you have a strong Taurus placement in your chart, you need to pay attention to this. You need to get a little bit more insight in this situation. What's coming in here? This could be in relation to a King of Wands energy who wants to open up a new chapter here. Fire sign energy. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, okay? Very independent energy. Strong Aries in regard to this. Again, North Node energy, all right? Activation of your destiny. You may be very tempted to take this offer because you feel like it's a quick fix. I've been trying to trudge this direction for a long time. I'm not seeing the growth I want to see. This could really take me there, but you got to be careful because look what comes in here. 8 of Cups to the world, completion. This thing is meant to be completed. There's a lot of indication that you should walk away from anything that is encouraging you to give up your creative property, your rights to an idea, something you're building for yourself to another person. There's something about continue to work really hard, okay? Work really hard. You're almost there. With the 8 of Pentacles, it's like this thing will pay off, but maybe it's not so glamorous. And you might be tired of working so hard and not seeing the kind of growth you were expecting to see financially. But if you get sloppy at this point and you just look for the quick fix, look at this. Tower to the 5 of Pentacles. Slow and steady wins the race here, okay? When we're looking at the Knight of Pentacles. Slow and steady. For some of you, you got a brilliant idea. You've been sitting on it and you have yet to invest, okay? And you really need to invest in order to see this thing grow. So important. You need to have a sense of commitment. It's not going to happen overnight. Slow and steady wins the race, all right? Well, I want a little bit more for you with this, okay? And when we're looking at rooting something, this is really important. Let me know what's coming in with this Knight of, I'm not Knight, I call them a Knight. King of Wands. Knight of Wands, interesting. Do they present themselves as a king and they're actually a knight energy? Interesting. Tell me about this King of Wands. I feel like y'all need a little bit more insight. I'm going to help you out here. There's a lot of confusion in this situation. We got the Seven of Cups in reverse. This is like there's something you need to see clearly here. All right. There's something you need to see clearly here before you move forward. It's like you're being held up from moving forward in this situation until you get really clear. There's a lot of options here. All right. And this is when you got Seven of Cups in reverse. This is like you're really swimming in it. Okay. Something's become very unclear because there's too many different options. There's something that sounds too good to be true. This is really coming forward in the area of finance and what it means to build with another as opposed to really protecting something that you're trying to build for yourself. You need to be careful here because you don't got all the pieces of this puzzle. You need to look at this a lot more clearly before you move forward with this. So hold up, wait a minute, okay? Wait a minute. Look at this, Queen of Wands energy. There's your independent energy. All right. So this is what's on offer, teaming up here. This energy is very independent though. And look what we got coming up here. Seven of Wands. This is like really standing strong in your position, you know, holding the line. What is non-negotiable for you in this situation? All right. You really need to consider this before you go into partnership with this individual. Two of Cups, because what you don't realize is there's betrayal here. Five of Swords. For some of you, this could be working out within the context of a romantic relationship, okay? Where you're trying to get it on the same page. You're wanting to move it into a committed direction, you know? And particularly around how moving into a place of commitment secures finances and security. That kind of legacy sort of energy. But there's something here that's not quite right in this situation. I don't like seeing Seven of Swords come up with Five of Swords in relation to this, along with Knight of Swords. This is like really trying to rush things, really trying to like sign on the dotted line. This is, you know, a real push forward. And there's underhandedness at play here. Ugh. Look at this. Yeah, this marriage, this union, bringing this thing together, somebody's thrown out of balance with it. It's not an even give and take. It's a deal that works for one person, but not the other. Okay, so you need to be mindful of this dynamic playing out here. Very mindful when you make this decision, Queen of Pentacles. Okay, this is your energy. Lovers. This is a big choice. Now, lovers, can this play a role in terms of romantic relationship? Absolutely. But in terms of this merger, this marriage, this union, there's legalities involved. Okay, so if this is speaking to you in terms of romance, this is about marriage. This is about combining assets. And what seems to be coming through very clearly here is in some way you have to protect yourself financially in this situation. How could this play out? Okay, we're going to look at it from both angles because I feel like it is speaking to both. It's not going to be marriage, union, relationship for everybody. For some of you, this is about a business merger, a business union, okay? And for others of you, it's both, okay? And it's that you built something for yourself and you're wanting to come together in relationship with somebody and you're hoping for this and you're navigating the tricky area of finances in regard to this, okay? And you got to be careful because there is note here about you could really stand to lose if you just gloss over this part because you're caught up in the fantasy of it and you're wearing your rose-colored glasses. You could lose big here, all right? So for some of you, this is looking at a marriage. You've built something for yourself. You don't want to lose that. You want to be mindful of this. And this could be like you're hammering out something where somebody in this equation is wanting to bring in a prenup. This might be causing problems. This might be making one person feel offended in this situation, and yet you're not understanding that this is necessary. Okay? For others of you, somebody may be promising you something relationship-wise, because you know they're very eager to do a whole lot of taking but not a lot of giving. Okay, it's more like a connection that's based on security, and it's not so much based on love, but love is kind of what's being sold there. Love, union, commitment. And yet there's this betrayal piece, and there's this sneaking away piece. So somebody in this equation still wants to have their independence. You might be working this out with each other. One person may be okay with this, and the other person may really have a lot of feelings of betrayal around that. Okay, so there's something that's being navigated here that involves security, involves finances, and this piece needs to be very consciously brought into the awareness. You can't just get caught up in the moment. For others of you, you've been building your own business, or you got a really great idea. You need to fully invest in it. You need to work hard. It's going to take a lot of groundwork. Success is not going to come overnight. There is no such thing as an overnight success. I don't care what people say. Very rarely does that ever happen. And if it does, it's usually because they already got an in with somebody that's already in that industry, somebody that can pull some strings for them, all right? Most of us out there, we got to do it the hard way, okay? It takes time, care, attention, and consistency to make something move forward. There are no quick fixes. There's no easy win, okay? You may be having somebody approach you, a scout. This could be somebody who wants to invest in your business, something along these lines. They want to come together. They want to create some kind of partnership. You got to be careful about protecting what's your ideas, because I could see that you could end up on the losing end of this deal if you're too quick to sign and you don't thoroughly look into what you're agreeing to here. All right, so you need to be careful with any kind of contractual agreements, whether that relates to romance or relates to your business. In either case, your finances and your security and stability are on the line, and you need to be aware of this. It's important, and you should protect what's yours, because the Lovers doesn't just deal with love. The Lovers is a choice. It's an important choice, and there's something that needs to be balanced out here, and the choice you make matters. Okay, it matters. And it has everything to do with your sense of self-worth, your sense of value, what you value at the end of the day, what you truly want to invest in, what you're going to stand on, what you're committed to, and what you built for yourself, your security, right? Very important. Cut of the deck energy. Okay, got the Star here on this side, and the other side, the Page of Pentacles, right? So Page of Pentacles is just the opening here, all right? There's something you need to get clear on, all right? There is hope, all right? There's something that's guiding you forward, and I believe it's your North Star. It's that destiny you want to step into. With the Page of Pentacles, it's like humble beginnings. Let me tell you here. Oh my gosh. It's really being echoed, all right? This is the message for you. There's something you need to learn here about this offer with the Page of Pentacles, because attached to it is the Page of Swords. That means not everything is up front here, all right? There's something you need to do some investigation into, and it's in relation to this Hierophant energy. Again, Taurus, very strongly front and center. The Hierophant represents the man, the intermediary. It can also represent marriage. It absolutely has everything to do with legalities, businesses, institutions, red tape, bureaucracy, all that. Before you sign any contracts, you need to learn more about what is really on offer. It may seem very hopeful. It very well could be, okay? But there are hidden elements in play here, And before you sign off on anything or get involved in any kind of merger, business or romantic, that involves legalities, you need to make sure that you're protecting what is yours. All right? That's it. That's the statement. Sticking to it. It's very strongly coming forward. And in cases of romance, okay, there's something hidden here with the High Priestess. And you're going to have to use your intuition, right? Very important. Let's get an overarching theme. Hang in there. There's again Piscean energy. So some of you are your Taurus rising, okay? Coming in very strongly. Piscean energy, all right? There's that hangman again. Pisces energy as well. Okay, also Cancer coming in there with you could be Capricorn rising as well. So if you're Capricorn rising, Taurus rising, or you have really strong Taurus or Capricorn placements, this could be speaking really strongly to you in the area of romance. You need to get a little perspective here, okay? Just take a little time in making your choice. Hang in there. You may be in the hot seat right now, okay? You might have somebody who's really putting the pressure on you as well. Could be a fire sign with that hang in there, okay? Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. You need to get very clear here on something. There's hidden elements in this situation that you do need to be aware of. All right. Protect what's yours. Protect what you've built for yourself. Protect your ideas. You know, make sure that you're considering your long-term security in this situation. I just saw the Mother Goose card on the split of the deck there, okay? So you might want to talk to your mom, you know, maybe open up to your mom. Maybe your mom has some wise counsel for you in this situation that coming in. All right, let's get an overarching theme for Earth sign collective, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Overarching theme for Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Oh. Yeah, you know, this is interesting. I feel like you're going to choose to, you know, not take this offer when it comes forward. And I say that because we got birthday corpse here. So it's something that's like being offered as an opportunity, a new beginning. And I feel like you're going, no, that's okay. I'll pass. And I say that because I think you're looking here and you realize that, you know, this is where this offer ends up. Got future grandma, okay? And look, grandma to a cat, okay? It reminds me of just wanting to be in that more independent energy. We already know that you got the 9 of Pentacles there. So there's something that you're sitting on that you maybe haven't been investing enough energy in that's totally related on your independence, something you can build for yourself. And it'll be so successful, right? Somebody wants to offer you something and it could really compromise you. All right, so you need to be careful about this so you don't end up in this position where you take an offer. It looks like it's something that's going to bring celebration. It looks like it's what you've been waiting for. It's the new beginning you've been hoping for. And then in the end, it brings about an ending in your life, okay? There's something you need to be aware of here. I think you're going to choose to go your own way. You know, with this energy here, cats are highly independent, and look, this cat has their third eye lit, all right? So there's something about, there's wisdom in you kind of going your own way, or making sure even within getting into a marriage that you still retain, you know, what's yours, that you don't lose that, all right? And that might be some interesting terrain to navigate in terms of a romance, but we know that there's something shady here. Somebody's been doing something here in this situation that's not above board. So you really need to pay attention to this with the 5 of Swords, 7 of Swords, Page of Swords on the board. Those are not positive energies. And with the Hermit coming in reverse, that's like not being spiritually connected or tapped in either. You might really want to get in touch, you know, with that independent energy. Get your vision clear. It seems like there's a little clouded energy going on with the 7 of Cups in reverse. That's like kind of just being caught up in fantasy or wishful thinking. And there's something about really practicalities here, okay? Especially where you're considering signing off on something or cutting deal or giving away your creative property, all right? And that's what I got. Okay, so a lot of action going on, a lot of transformation in play. When we look at this from a collective perspective, you know, just taking it out of the scope of the individual elemental sign groups, because we run all these energies in our chart, we can see that while we're at the place of having arrived at a certain truth, and we've come to a place of knowing what actions need to be taken, maybe we've even taken an action or we've spoken a truth, we know that really to manifest things and to drive them home. Hey, good to see you, Angela. We know that there's two components that we're missing, and it's funny because it's the place where we're at right now, right? We're for those of us who are questing for the 4 jewels of the Tuatha De Danann, we're questing for the Cauldron of Dagda. That's that water element. So we know there's more healing that needs to happen. We know that there's more need to really get in touch with our intuition, right? We also know that there's more integration to be done, and also more emotional vulnerability and emotional investment that needs to come forward. And we are not there yet, okay? We also know with that earth element in play that's still kind of stuck, that we need to be more practical. We need to have a solid foundation. We really need to consider our security, also what we're really truly investing in here. And we know there's hidden elements in play, obviously, because we're moving through this eclipse energy and more is going to be coming into light. So this is a like ... to be continued situation, okay? But hopefully this will give you some keys to work with, and I hope you'll work with those Sabian symbols. And once again, just kind of finish everything off. Yeah, I'm closing out though. I'm like at the end of it, but I'm glad you caught like at least the tail end, okay? But you'll definitely want to review because there's a lot that came forward in this one. I opened up with a talk on the astrology. I got into the Sabian symbols and some keys for moving forward. And then we did elemental reads. So we looked at air sign collective, we looked at fire sign collective, water sign collective, and earth sign collective. So we looked at all the signs and we broke it up elementally. So yeah, I hope you get a lot out of it. I'm glad you dropped in and said hi though. It's good to see you. And yeah, check it out. And also do be sure to hit up that live action, even if you hit the replay for Cal Garrison coming on November 7th. It's going to be a great talk. Cal really wants to bring in the Scorpio energy. That's what she brought in when we talked this morning. So we're going to be looking at like Scorpio archetype and what that means, because these energies, Mars, Pluto, I mean, they're front and center, and both Mars and Pluto are Scorpio's rulers. So this is kind of the energy that's in play for a long spell for us, and we should have more understanding about it. There's often a lot of mystery around Scorpio just as an archetype, and with us having to be in Scorpio's terrain, we need to develop a little bit more understanding. Those of you who run strong Scorpio, I run strong Scorpio energy, okay? So those of us who are familiar with Scorpio energy, we're a little bit, you know, a little bit privy to like navigating this terrain, but still, you know, there's more to learn and there's more to integrate. So it could be a really beneficial topic. And I think we'll touch on the Lilith piece too, the Lilith astrology, because there's definitely that clashing energy front and center in the collective consciousness, and that need to like go about, you know, go about things in a new way, and the way that clashes with the old structure in place and kind of rising up in that rebellion. Me rising and ascending sun and moon. Yep, you're feeling it. Well, I have my Mercury in my natal chart. I have Mercury in Scorpio, okay? And that is in my second house, okay? Which is actually an exalted place for it to be. It's also, you know, the descendant placement for Scorpio, for Taurus, all right? So I have my Mercury in Scorpio there in my natal chart. But in my progress chart, all right? Oh, another piece. I have Pluto, all right, rides right up almost in alignment with my ascendant Libra. in my natal chart as well, which gives me a super strong Scorpio influence, almost like Scorpio rising quality. And I have Mars in Libra, also in that first house. So I got both the Scorpio's rulers in my first house with Pluto riding on my Libra ascendant. So I already have a really strong Scorpio charge in my chart. And a lot of people mistake me for a Scorpio when they first meet me. But I'm very strong Libra, natally, all right? 5 stellium Libra placement, all in the first house of Aries. So very balanced Libra, Aries energy. But in my progress chart, I just had a huge progression in my chart last year. My Libra sun moved into Sagittarius, okay? And then my rising moved into Scorpio. My moon moved into Scorpio. My Venus moved into Scorpio. My Mercury still in Scorpio, of course, and my Mars moved into Scorpio. All right, so it's a little adjustment, so I feel you. I run a lot of Scorpio energy, and I'm getting more acquainted with the Scorpio aspect just because of what's going on in my progress chart. It's still got my Libra roots, but I'm getting to know that Scorpio side a lot more. And yeah, it's a lot to navigate right now, okay? So tune in for that if you get a chance, or at least catch the replay. She's a wealth of knowledge, and yeah, it's good to see you drop in, Angela, and thank you to everybody who did drop in and made the live and brought your voices in. And thank you to all of you who will catch the replay. And I just want to, again, say thank you to everybody that has, you know, been supporting the channel. And there's a lot of new people here. I've had some growth in the channel, and that feels really good. So wonderful to have new people here, and people interested in building conscious community and moving forward in a new way. And I appreciate all of you and everything you contribute. It means a lot. Thank you to all the people that have donated to the channel. That's really been helpful as well. And I do want to say that next week, I've been meaning to do it, but I've been bogged down in some stuff. There's a lot of pieces that I'm bringing together right now, a lot of stuff I'm launching in association with the channel and my vision year. So give me a little time, give me a little breathing room, all right? But I'm hoping to have everything dialed in and together by the end of the second week of November. I put out a little video about that the other day, just kind of a reintroduction to me and the way things are shifting at the channel. So do check in with that if you haven't yet. But next week, I want to bring in a very special reading for everybody who has donated to the channel, okay? So I just want to do that as a thank you. I've been meaning to do that, and that'll give you kind of even a more specific read because you're a much, much smaller collective, okay? So do look for that thank you gratitude reading coming out for those of you who have donated to the channel next week. And we'll just make it a general kind of like what's coming up for you through the end of the year. So I just wanted to give something back to say thank you. And finally got like my first person, did a super thanks, you know, on my live I did the other night. So it was actually more of a premiere kind of thing. But still, they brought that forward, and that was really nice to receive that. And that was brand new for me. So that was a first. And I just want to give back, you know, when people give to me and support in that way, I want to give something just to make a little special acknowledgement of that and the way you've supported me. So do look out for that reading for those of you who've donated to the channel. I'm going to give you a special collective read just for you guys, just to say thank you. So have a beautiful weekend, and enjoy your time and enjoy this full moon energy. Do your release work. It's a wonderful time for it. Wonderful time for a release ritual. And it's pretty dark out there right now. So I don't know. We might be really in that eclipse portion right now. I'm not sure what time specifically the eclipse was going down, but I'm noticing it's really, really dark. So good time to eclipse those things out of your life that you're ready to release. So work with this energy and take care. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for dropping in. I'll get the timestamps up, but it'll be a little later, okay? Give me a little time to work with. I got some of them written down. I'll get some of them dialed in for you too, okay? Take care.